Good morning, pop culture. We are live. Today is July 18th, 2018. It's 7:45 in the morning, and I'm wide awake and amped up on coffee and ready to discuss all facets of pop culture, especially celebrating the 10-year anniversary of what many consider the best superhero movie, and what even more people consider the best Batman movie, The Dark Knight. So as people are rolling in, good morning to everybody. Thank you, Seth Scott. I'm glad you love the channel. We love you right back. Good morning to Lime Green Hulk and Chuck Graham, as well as Darth Dirkle the Wise Ass. Just so many nice people rolling in this early in the morning. Glad you're here. After last night's High Council, excuse me. After last night's High Council, I need something a little more slow-paced, a little more calm in the morning to, get myself back to where I am, or need to be, to center myself. Oh, your coffee maker broke. That sucks. Yes, I am a K-Cup fanatic. I have a giant coffee mug, like one of those. I have no clue what size this coffee mug is, but it has my letter J on it, and it probably holds 30 ounces of liquid. So, yeah, say what you will about me. Good evening, David Applegate. While people are rolling in till we get to our magical number, till we start the main feature, I'm not a fan of the Medea franchise. I don't like anything Tyler Perry has made. The only thing I liked that he appeared in was Star Trek 2009, because he was in it for 10 seconds, and I can't fault him for that. Ooh, the best Batman movie is Mask of the Phantasm. Well, Chano, Cyber 9 Avila, we will be discussing all the Batman movies in this morning's show. So if you guys are Batman fans or comic book fans, and you need a break from some Star Wars talk, this is the show for you. Good morning to the Hammer of Crom. I'm glad you guys liked last night's High Council. Dion is my best friend. He's on World Class Bullshitter. So if you guys haven't had a chance to listen to our podcast, we've been going for almost 3 years now. And that's the format. Usually Kendo and Nick will chime in too to cut Dion off. But it was a fun night, and I thought Pat from Please Rewind was excellent. Oh, we have our first super chat of the morning. Thank you very much, Alpha Terranima. Missed Ethan's promo cutting last night because the Gravity Rush 2 online shutting down. This is for the Trebuchet Fund. Hashtag woke is weakness. Yeah, last night really was one of the better episodes of the High Council. I will say this. It was probably the smartest episode of the High Council. Yes, I know Cecil wasn't there, and I apologize to everyone who didn't get their Cecil fix. But he was there in spirit as Bagel Goose. And we just talked about some serious stuff. We said some stuff that I think needed to be said. I think Ethan made the best points about how SJW ideology trumps the desire for money. But Dion tried to take it from the other side as well. So I think it made for better entertainment. And that's here on the channel right now. So you guys can go back and look at that, or listen to that if you will, and give me your thoughts on it. Tweet us, email us, message us on Facebook, and tell us what you thought of last night's High Council when you get the chance. Oh, well, that's cool that Hello Greedo and some other douchebags are taking pot shots at us. That means we're successful. I think it was Oscar Wilde that said, the only thing worse than people talking badly about you is people not talking about you at all. So in the words of Han Solo, bring it on. I prefer a straight fight to all this sneaking around. Let them say what they will. They'll come and they'll fall. We're not worried about anybody who has shit to say about us. I stand behind all my videos. I stand behind all the points that I've personally made. I'm not going to change anything to win brownie points or cool points with these people. Hello Greedo keeps being accused of being a shill. I haven't made a video about him because he's not worth my time, but he can live with that and his falling relevancy. Yes, Ethan was raging last night. He Ethan's great. I love hanging out with Ethan. It's bizarre to be able to call him my friend because for many years I read the books that he worked on and liked his art and studied it. And now I can say Ethan Van Sciver is my friend. We've had 20 episodes of the High Council. We've discussed stuff off air. He's a cool dude. Like, if it seems like the High Council gets along on air, it's because we get along off air too. We all, have each other's backs and stuff like that. Pellegrino was in the Army. I didn't. He gets respect for the veteran points, but I still don't like his Star Wars stuff. Well, I can separate him from his achievements, his videos from his achievements. EVS word about anime got me to unsubscribe from him. Aw, well, give him a second chance, and if you're not going to, hey, you got to make your own decisions. I'm not here to, tell you guys what to do. Oh, don't worry, the tank, T34 tank. I'm not getting into YouTube drama. That's not what this channel's about. We make our videos. We have a wider reach. I'm focused on that, and I'm also focused on having a more personal interaction with the listeners that are actually fans of this channel. So instead of spending time huffing about on Twitter, bitching up a storm about stuff that I don't care about, about people I don't even fucking know, instead of doing that kind of shit, we'll have this show, and we'll hang out, we'll talk about entertainment, and we'll have fun. That's what this channel's about, having a good time. And I have a good time every morning, so I'm not worried about what anybody says about me. Okay, Hello Greedo was in the Navy. Well, you know what? He can be in the Navy. Joel, who used to be on this show, is in the Navy. Like I said, I got respect for them and their service and all that stuff. I'm not going to discredit them or attack them personally. That's his thing. He can go off and do his videos. We'll do ours. That's why we've reached millions of people over the course of just a few short months. T-Bentech. Good morning, Cincinnati. Yeah, good morning to you, Cincinnati. I don't know if you got my email, but yeah, when we have a group get together, we will. I'll contact you, and you can hang off all the bullshitters. Shano Cyber9 Avila, thank you for your super chat and good morning. Under the Red Hood and Court of Owls are my favorite. So you're talking about your favorite Batman stories. I enjoy both of those. Well, Under the Red Hood's that movie. I didn't think they made a Court of Owls animated feature. My favorite Batman story is Year One or Dark Knight Returns, just in terms of comic. Animated, we'll talk more about that later. We're really early into the show. Yeah, Jordan, I wish they'd have that good of a genuine rating too. I don't know if that means that Nolan should be making a Bat flick or Nolan should be making a Star Wars flick, but I do know that there should be obsessive detail when it comes to crafting the story as opposed to obsessive detail when winning brownie points and trying to cater to a fictional audience that doesn't exist. Before we get into the main feature, I'll answer some more questions. My number one superhero movie of all time is Spider-Man 2. It just hasn't been topped because Spider-Man's my favorite character. And that's also why I don't put superhero movies in my top favorite films because like I said earlier, I grade them differently. Spider-Man 2 is the best Spider-Man movie, and Spider-Man's my favorite character, so I rank it above all the other movies. I don't know if that's a valid way to rate it, but I do have tons of positives about it, and it's one of those movies that keeps getting better every single time I watch it. Yeah, we'll talk about the new Batwoman show. This is a very Bat-centric show. I should just call it the Bat Chat. Well, no, somebody else has an episode, Geekvolution, so I'm not going to steal from them. Reed Palancha, thank you very much for your super chat, and good morning. The Joker and the Batman provide one of the best hero/villain story relationships in the genre. It has lasted the test of time. You know, it's funny that you mentioned that, Reed. I was looking over some Dark Knight stuff before the show, And I thought of a line from The Dark Knight. I don't. This is just me paraphrasing because I don't remember it verbatim. But he says, Joker says something along the lines of, "We're going to be doing this back and forth forever." And I remember watching that in the cinema, thinking to myself, "Oh man, if only Heath Ledger wouldn't have died, I could see that this constantly would happen and be interesting throughout these movies." But he had been dead for 6 or 7 months at that point, and it just kind of always hit me weird, not like in an emotional, like crying way, just like, "Oh man, what could have been" type of way. So that was that. But yeah, that dynamic has never been matched. I think Marvel was chasing that in the beginning, and I think now that they've come into their own in terms of villain structure, that they're much better off. Thanos, for being a much more fantastical villain, is a much more effective. Well, like, I don't say he's effective. He does win though at the end of the day. That's the thing. Thanos wins and gets what he wants, and that's what I really like about Infinity War. The Joker also gets what he wants, so they're equally effective. I didn't talk about Skyscraper yesterday. I will tell you. Okay, we'll talk about it real quick right now. We're getting close to our 200 viewers to start the main feature. Skyscraper debuted at number 3. So I think that was one of The Rock's lowest openings. And as I always say on this show, I'm a huge fan of The Rock. He's my favorite celebrity. He seems like a cool dude. The thing I really like about The Rock is when I was a kid, I thought The Rock, the wrestler, was like the coolest thing ever. And then as an adult, you see that he's actually a good dude who backs up all the stuff he says. So that's, that wins points with me. With that being said, though, I didn't rush out to see this because for as much as I love The Rock, his movies are iffy, and I would rather watch Die Hard. Like, I actually, when I go to the gym on cardio days, I put on a movie, and Die Hard was this week's movie, and I sat and rewatched it because of Skyscraper. I keep wanting to call it Tower Heist, but because of Skyscraper, I rewatched Die Hard, and I actually appreciated Die Hard much more than I have in the past, and I already say it's the best action movie. So I just skipped Skyscraper because I don't need a Kmart equivalent to Die Hard. I'll just watch the real thing. It's widely available. I got it on digital, Blu-ray, DVD, everything. It's fantastic. Why settle for less? Mareth Dialine, thank you very much for your super chat, and good morning. Kathleen Kennedy, where's my fan base? It is safe. Is it safe? Palpatine, it seems in your wokeness you killed it. Kathleen Kennedy, no! It took me a second to catch on to what you were doing there, but she really, all these people, like Ethan said, though, ideology is more important. Like, their ideals are what are driving them, not money. I liked it when money was the driving factor in Hollywood. Say what you about Golan Globus and the Canon Film Group. At least their desire was money. And sometimes they made good stuff and sometimes they made shit. Most of the times they made shit. But my point is, their hearts were in the right place in terms of creating those movies. They weren't made to alienate a fan base and make people feel bad about themselves. Stone Cold was not better than The Rock. Stone Cold got injured, and the WWF got even bigger while he was gone. Who was the top guy? The Rock. When The Rock left, wrestling took a huge dive. When Stone Cold left, it was fine. I did see The Rock on Star Trek Voyager. When I was a kid, I watched I stayed home from school once to watch The View because The Rock was on it. So, yeah. I've traveled. I live in Cincinnati. I traveled to Miami to watch The Rock fight John Cena. I traveled to New York to watch The Rock fight John Cena. When I was in Michigan, I went from Michigan to Atlanta to watch The Rock just appear at WrestleMania. I've traveled the country to see The Rock wrestle, and I'll continue to do so. If The Rock was wrestling tonight, skip the Patreon hangout to go see The Rock. I'm sorry. It's just where my priorities lie. You know, the Tank, it's funny that you bring up the Mr. Falcon line. I actually sell t-shirts, the Yippee-Ki-Yay Mr. Falcon t-shirt. That's one of our world-class bullshitter shirts we have over on our Incarnate Studios Etsy account, and they've moved. Like, our good friend Tap and Die has one, and he wears it proudly. I'm drinking hazelnut coffee from Kroger. My mom went nuts and bought me like a case of K-Cups of variety, so I got this giant coffee mug. This is a 24-ounce mug right here. And press F if you want me to tweet out how giant this mug is. I will gladly do that. No, not ratings equal argument for The Rock. I'm saying when Stone Cold left in 99, not only did the ratings stay consistent or get better, you had a lot of growth. You had The Rock was just a bigger star. He had more crossover appeal as a wrestler. He just did more. I think Stone Cold gets vastly overrated because he hijacked a truck or he hijacked a Zamboni or this or that. The Rock maybe wasn't the best technical wrestler, but he was much better on the mic than Stone Cold Steve Austin. And he reached a wider audience of people. So I'm not even going by the TV ratings. I'm just going by attendance records. You know, when attendance is up in the year 2000 the way it wasn't because Stone Cold was there. Well, Darth Primus, real quick, Chano, I'm going to read your super chat, but Darth Primus, I think the Joker not having a backstory was intentional. Therefore, it works for this. I mean, we had the Joker have a backstory in Batman 89, and a lot of people loved it, a lot of people hated it. I'm of a mind to make some Mookie. I like both. I prefer Jack Nicholson. I prefer Mark Hamill over all of it. But trying to add an extra Easter egg for this picture to tweet out to you guys so you know how I live. There you go. So, yeah, I think Thanos is more fleshed out, but Joker's intentionally vague, and I like both. So, Chano Cybernine Avila, thank you very much for your super chat. Thanos might be working for Galactus. He eats healthy planets by Thanos logic. He saves planets by cutting the population in half, and the planet thrives. You know, I would hope that that's the next step in the MCU. That's the one positive I can get from Fox being purchased by Disney. Building out the MCU and just finishing up and collecting everything. Now, that's why it saddens me the most about possibly the Captain Marvel-led SJW Phase 4. Just when you have access to all these great characters, you do something so stupid, and you won't totally redeem yourself. You'll just fuck it up for everybody. So we'll see, Chano. I'm hoping that Galactus arrives. I'm hoping the Fantastic Four arrive. I'm hoping this quantum realm and all this other shit leads to, all kinds of stuff. Let's see. Hashtag GMPC. Hashtag The Dark Knight. I almost typed in hashtag The Bachelorette. You guys don't want me to cover The Bachelorette, do you? There you go, folks. You can see my giant coffee mug now. I've never tweeted it on air, but there we are. The Devastator 1194, thank you for your super chat. Have you played the Arkham video games? Very fun games, good Batman stories. Well, the Devastator, not only have I played them, I've beat all of them, and I've played, I'd say I put 30 hours into each minimum, which doesn't sound like a lot, but for me, even back then, I have had all the game consoles, but I haven't put in hundreds of hours per game. But I love the Arkham games. For me, Arkham City is my favorite. No, not Arkham City, excuse me. I like Arkham Knight the best. I know people thought the story was controversial and the tank segments and stuff like that. But let me give you my very biased answer and then let me flesh it out with a more critical answer. I like the fact that I can play as the Michael Keaton Batman with the Michael Keaton Batmobile with the voice of Kevin Conroy. There we go. I said it. That's what sold me on the game. Now, I like the open world aspect. I liked the fighting. I thought the game was stunning visually. I loved the part where you fight at the movie studio. I thought the movie studio segment of the game felt like an entire game based on what you would have got from like the PS2 era. That's why I really, really got into that one. Now, Arkham Asylum, played it as soon as it came out. I think that summer, Ghostbusters, the game, and Arkham Asylum came out, and I played both of those on really crappy furniture coming back from college. I just remember sitting there after quitting my job from 7-Up, and I was like, man, this is the greatest thing ever. And Arkham City, man, that was even better than Arkham Asylum. I kind of want to go back and get the 3D or the HD remasters on those, even though they're not going to be much different, and play through them. Now, you'll say, Jeff, you could play as the Batman the Animated Series Batman in Arkham City. And that's true, but the head was so big it was kind of off-putting. So thank you, The Devastator. I've played all those. They are some of the best superhero games of all time. Up there with, well, they're better than Spider-Man 2, I'll say that. And good morning to you, American Trent. Brad Norris, thank you for your super chat. Skyscraper is much more Towering Inferno than Die Hard. The Rock puts in a pretty good performance, too. I haven't seen Towering Inferno in years. I look it. I'm not here to shit on Skyscraper, but I just am not going to give it my money. Maybe I'm being too kind to The Rock, but The Rock's movies don't appeal to me because The Rock, this is too late to the action hero game. The Rock should have been doing this. He shouldn't have done the Tooth Fairy and the game plan, and Be Cool, and all this other crap that he did that no one remembers or talks about. One thing about The Rock, and maybe he had to have his come to Jesus moment or whatever in terms of his wrestling career and his acting career. But from 2005 to about 2010, The Rock was in stuff and in the public eye, but he wasn't the megastar he is now. I'm not saying I thank wrestling for bringing him back, but when he came back to wrestling in 2011, and then he did the Fast and the Furious 5, he really had a big boost, and now he's the Dwayne The Rock Johnson that everybody knows and loves. But there was a point in time where he's like, don't call me The Rock, I'm not a wrestler, this, that, and the other thing. When he finally got his head out of his ass and got right with everything, then he kind of expanded, or blew up. But I think he should have been doing the movies he's doing now back in the day, because we were sorely lacking any like male-led big guy action flicks. Arnold had made Collateral Damage in 2002 or 2003. The Rock should have come back. He came out with Rundown and Walking Tall in 2003 and 2004. And then he should have followed it up with crazy shit like that. But we got Southland Tales and Get Smart and all those other dumb ones The Rock made. So it might be more Towering Inferno. I just am not interested in a big CGI action fest. Oh, his wife and daughter are kidnapped and all this other shit. Look, I'll watch it on streaming, and if it's better than I thought, I'll make a video just for you, Brad, and say, hey, I apologize. I almost called it Tower Heist again. Fuck, Skyscraper was way better than I thought. But when you're me and Die Hard's one of your all-time favorite flicks, and this looks a lot like Die Hard, like I said, except no substitutes. But thank you, Brad. If you liked it, I'll take that as a high compliment, and I'll watch it drunk with Dion. That's what I'll wait for. When Dion and I get together, we'll find a way to watch it, and we'll do maybe a live drunk commentary for it. And we'll do comparisons with Die Hard and Towering Inferno and stuff like that. So if you guys are interested in that, press F. Licardo Guira. I apologize if I've butchered your name. I hope I got that right. What do you think Man of Steel did right? Ooh, I love talking about comic book movies. This is a good show. This is a good morning. I think what did Man of Steel do right? I thought Superman in action looked good. Say what you will about Christopher Reeve, and I have nothing but positive things to say about him and what he represents as Superman. But the fight scene in New York City, due to the technical limitations in Superman 2, were it's very dated. I'm not saying it's bad, but everything slowed down and was kind of boring in terms of like the wire work and stuff like that. Now, conversely, Man of Steel was a little too Dragon Ball Z for my liking, but overall it was neat to see, like when Superman was punching Zod down the side of the building and you had that cool camera over his shoulder. There were some cool things. I think the movie was too much to start with. Superman needs to be introduced to the world and all that stuff, but I think this world destruction should have come later. I think Henry Cavill does a fine job. I'm not saying he's the best Superman, but he's not the worst. He does a fine job, so I liked him. And I think the theme song's okay. I loved the Krypton parts. That was my favorite parts of the entire film. That opening was great. I guess if I think about it more, if I enjoy the Krypton parts with General Zod, that you have to have him as the villain. Okay. I just didn't like the destruction of Metropolis and how it led into BVS. I think my dislike of BVS is kind of leading in to my thoughts on Man of Steel. When I saw it in theaters, I thought it was okay, maybe a 6 out of 10. Then I watched it on cable maybe a year or two ago, and I thought, this is better than I remember. but I hate the color palette and the look of the film. I want bright, fun Superman with trunks. Like, put the trunks back on. They put them in the comic books. Let the 10 people on the internet bitch about it, and then watch everybody come back for classic Superman. Fun, big blue Boy Scout. We kind of need that stuff. So, thank you, Licardo. If SJW MCU doesn't happen in Phase 4, I'll be happy. I don't want it to. I don't want these movies to suck. I like going to the theater to watch the Marvel movies, guys. You've heard me talk about them. I've been a fan for a long time. No, I did not like Southland Tales. I hate that fucking movie. Dion and I, you know what? Midnight Cherry TV, ask me again when Dion's on, but I'll tell you this. I'm a pimp, and pimps don't kill themselves. Sven Sandstrom, thank you very much for your super chat. This isn't Dark Knight cool, but I like Batman and Justice League Secret Origins. I like Batman in almost anything. And, you know, different writers do Batman differently, but I think overall they still do him justice, unless you're Kevin Smith. And what is that, The Widening Gyre, when Batman pissed his pants? And that's not me making a joke about Kevin Smith. That's an honest-to-God plot point. So that's the only time I think I've actually hated Batman in media. Okay. We finally hit the 200 viewer mark. So let me read this super chat from Chano Cyber 9 Avila, and then we're going to talk about The Dark Knight. We'll look back at it. So, The Rock is a Terminator or in a Terminator movie? Fuck yeah. Rock and Terminator. Rock and all that stuff. I'm all about Rock. Rock should have been in Terminator Salvation. Not Christian Bale, not Antoine, or what's his name? The kid that died. You guys know what I'm talking about. From Star Trek Chekhov, the new one. He should have had The Rock in a Terminator flick. Rock should have been in a Gears of War movie that was made 10 years ago. There's a lot of shoulda, coulda, woulda with The Rock, but that's okay. I'm still glad he's right with his wrestling career and everything like that. And then Chano Cyber 9 Avila sent in another one. By the way, every time I read your name, I almost want to say Cyberdyne. So there we go. Pa Kent should have died of a heart attack. Yeah, that's the part that pissed me off about Batman, or not Batman, damn Man of Steel, was when he just let him die in the tornado. That was bullshit. That was bullshit. That pisses me off beyond belief. Astro Walker, thank you very much for your generous super chat. Good morning. Since we're talking DCEU, do you believe it can get back on track? Radio silence on Aquaman so far with just 4 months away, and Shazam looking absolutely goofy. Can Warner Brothers fix this? Well, Astro Walker, let me break down your questions. Okay, so in terms of the radio silence from Aquaman, I think they're just waiting for a bigger platform to discuss Aquaman. I think Aquaman will be the big takeaway from Comic-Con this weekend. Am I fanboying out for Aquaman? Hell no. But Aquaman was so much better than I thought it would be in the Justice League film. Was not a fan of the... Wonder Woman was fine. Didn't really like a lot of the build-up movies overall, but Justice League was fun enough that I don't hate it. I've watched it twice since then. I think they're just waiting. I don't think they're afraid, but you have to make a good first impression. They did that with the Justice League film proper. Jason Momoa was a very much a derivative of Thor, but he was funny, especially the part where they're on that ship or whatever, and he touches Wonder Woman's lasso of truth, and he has that like comedy scene. Jason Momoa has the acting chops to pull that off, and I think a lot of people that did see Justice League have at least a pretty good feeling towards him in the role. So I think they're just waiting for the right time. Shazam, though, I think looks pretty dumb. I don't want to shit on it because I always say, let's do something new and different. And then when they do something new and different, I don't want to shit on it. I will say that the suit looks dumb. And I don't like that they're going to be adapting the newer Shazam stuff. I'm only hoping that Shazam having a movie leads to the Flash movie, which is Flashpoint. And then we get a reboot of the DCEU with a proper Superman and a proper Batman and all kinds of proper versions of these characters. I think the DCEU launched at a weird time. It was post New 52 DC. They tried to do adaptations of that, And it was also in response to The Dark Knight, which I'll be talking about in a moment, how The Dark Knight is actually kind of bad for superhero movies for many years. I think The Dark Knight hurt for, I'd say, 5 to 6 years after it, because everything tried to be dark and gritty. And I'll make more explanation or more examples later. But I think Shazam, I think overall the DCEU should have gone for the classics approach like Marvel and then updated it, and not gone for the new 52 versions of everything on screen. I bought a lot of the new 52 launch books in my giant comic book collection. I do have like Batman #1, Action Comics #1, Detective Comics #1, all that stuff like that from the new 52 relaunch. And I bought into that stuff, and I actually followed Batman all the way through 0 years. So what is that, 40-something issues? And there is some stuff in the DCEU or the New 52 universe that I thought was all right. But overall, I thought that was a bad thing to adapt from, because you got the older audience, you got the newer audience, you got the audience that only watch the cartoons and the TV shows and stuff that go see these movies as well. And adapting this weird, fringe, newer version just didn't work. So do I think Warner Brothers could fix it? Anything's possible. Just like I think Marvel could fuck up the entire MCU within 2 movies, I also think that Warner Brothers could fix the DCEU. Wonder Woman 84 is going to come out with a lot of positive hype and buzz. Rightly so. The first one was way better than I thought it was going to be. Aquaman could be incredible if they get the tone right. If it's too jokey, it'll come off as a Thor ripoff. But if they get the tone and the visuals and the that awe moment, not awe like, how cute a baby, but like, oh, wow, that, when you see Atlantis in its grandiose scale, if they present that right, and the Aquaman film is a win, and people can get through some of the stuff with Shazam, or it's a win itself, and then you got Wonder Woman next year, I think that DC can course correct, and we can have the DCEU reboot with Flash, and then kind of move on into the next generation. So, Astral Walker, I hope I gave good enough explanations or answers to your super chat. Thank you very much. But I think the radio silence is necessary at this point in time. Reed Palancha, thank you very much for your super chat. Is there a not so well-known superhero that you would like to see given a chance, e.g. the Question and the Spectre? I like the Question getting a film. Mr. A. Well, if you make either the Question or a Mr. A movie, people are going to think it's Rorschach, which is fine because Rorschach is a derivative of those characters. Lesser-known superhero. I am guilty of, when it comes to comic book reading, I usually do read the bigger characters because those are the ones I've always been introduced to and love, like Spider-Man. I used to say I will follow Spider-Man till the end of time. That's not the case. That's how bad they made Spider-Man. But lesser known stuff. I think you could do Fool Killer on TV. That'd be interesting. I think more than just a lesser known character, I'd like to see a widening of these characters' universes, because what happens with all these superhero flicks is we get to a certain point and then they relaunch it, and then they relaunch it in a fast, half-assed way, and then we relaunch it again, like Spider-Man. Spider-Man was building to have this really broad world. They actually did quite a good job launching Spider-Man in 2002 and building out, all the different things. And then 2 continued that, and then 3, there was a kink in it, but you could have corrected it and gone forward, but they chose not to. With Batman, we got the same thing. With Superman, we got the same thing. I just want them. I'd like to see more than a lesser-known property. I'd like to see a longer-running property where it just keeps going and keeps on going. The Energizer Bunny of superhero franchises. But to answer you specifically, man, that's a hard one to answer off the top of my head. There's just so many comics that I've read that are mostly, big mainstream characters. And the ones that I genuinely love are Batman and Spider-Man. So, John Stewart, Green Lantern, I'd like to see him given a chance. And, because Green Lantern Ryan Reynolds did suck, but let's give him a chance. We've seen Hellboy. I'd like to see The Mask make a comeback, too. I know I feel bad. I can't give you a cut and dry answer, Reed Palancha, so I apologize, but that's off the top of my head. Like I said, I like the mainstream characters. And anything that I read that's not mainstream is like, adaptations of heavy metal character stuff, like another Arzak movie or something live action like that. Brad Norris, thank you for your super chat. It's cool if you don't want to see Skyscraper. Just because you don't agree doesn't mean I still don't listen to WCB every day. Well, thank you, Brad. I'm glad that you're a hardcore fan and you got a good head on your shoulders. No, part of me always wants to see every Rock movie, but part of me can never pull the trigger and rush out and see it. Hell, my mom saw Rampage with her boyfriend. I haven't seen Rampage yet, so there you go. Midnight Cherry TV. Could The Rock do one 1990s Image comic movie a year? Or The Rock could do one 1990 Image comic movie a year. The Rock could do all kinds of shit. I'm surprised The Rock hasn't been in the MCU. That's the one thing I think he's made a mistake. He's waiting for this DC check. The Rock should. Maybe The Rock had a bad run-in with Disney. He was in one of their movies with the Game Plan, and he hasn't done another Disney picture. Oh, he did Moana. Stop me right there. He did Moana. So no, I don't know why The Rock. Maybe he's too big for the MCU because Robert Downey Jr. has grown because of the MCU, but The Rock is a huge star on his own. He brings that from the wrestling world, so maybe they don't want that. Maybe he's too big for that. So now we are caught up on all of the super chats from now. So let's talk about the 10-year anniversary of The Dark Knight. And I just realized that I forgot to hit the record button on Audacity to do the streaming version of this. I apologize to all the people waiting for those. That is all on me. So this comes from ABC News. How The Dark Knight completely changed superhero films. And by the way, as I'm reading this, if you guys want to chime in, I'll be jumping back to the chat. I'm not going to read this whole article because it's a little long, but I want to use this as a springboard to keep this discussion rolling. So anything you guys, any thoughts you have, positive or negative about The Dark Knight or any Batman flicks, now's the time to bring it in. Tell me your favorite Batman movies, and we'll continue the conversation that way. So The Dark Knight came out 10 years ago today, and whether or not superhero films are your jam, one thing is clear among all moviegoers. The acclaimed film sure supercharged a growing superhero genre, resulting in dozens of movies that have tried to emulate or expand on the project's brilliance. Before Christian Bale and Heath Ledger faced off in Christopher Nolan's dark take on the Batman saga, films like Tim Burton's Batman in 1989 or Spider-Man in 2002 were ripped straight from the iconic comic book pages from which they began. Who can forget the outlandish laughter of Jack Nicholson's Joker or the cartoonish mask Willem Dafoe wore in Spider-Man, playing Peter Parker's nemesis, the Green Goblin? But after The Dark Knight, things really started to change. This is not to say that Knight's predecessor, Batman Begins, 3 years early, didn't already lay the groundwork for a realistic superhero film. But the acclaim and reception that The Dark Knight received had make filmmakers everywhere stop and say, how do I do that? They all wanted to jump on board with what Nolan was able to accomplish, grounding Batman in the real world and taking on layered issues, where there is no clear-cut good or bad guy. And then there was Heath Ledger's Joker, a masterpiece character, which was not only a colorful kaleidoscope to the eyes, but a mental exercise in being an evil genius. And here we stand a decade later with success like Logan, a 2017 that is far more a Western than a superhero flick, focused on the sad but true reality of aging and losing all the abilities, not just heroic kind, that people hold near and dear to their hearts. So I'm going to stop right here because I wanted to talk about one thing right here. They all wanted to jump on board with what Nolan was able to accomplish and ground. And that was a problem for a couple years. So, oh yeah, The Rock was in the Witch Mountain movie. You're right. I forgot about that meme. So this point right here is what I wanted to make about this. The Dark Knight achieved a lot, but it also damaged a lot of things. If you guys remember the dark and gritty reboot craze of the post-Dark Knight era, we had some bad things come out because of the Dark Knight. So Dark Knight's 08, you had I'm going to use The Amazing Spider-Man as the first example. They attempted to blend the Dark Knight sensibilities with Spider-Man. And you had a fairly successful film, but then its sequel kind of died off. You had dark and gritty reboots of things that shouldn't have been dark and gritty. You had the dark and gritty Superman flick, Man of Steel. You had the whole DCEU in the wake of The Dark Knight. The Dark Knight is what DC has been chasing for 10 years. They got a taste of the big time. They got Oscar taste. They got a taste for the Oscars. I think that was the first superhero flick to make $1 billion. The Dark Knight did a lot of great stuff, but it also damaged a lot of things to come because everyone tried to be just like it. I don't think that should take away from the success of the film and its positive impact, but on the fandom, this Dark Knight realism has hurt, and it took until the Avengers came out to help change that. See, I don't know if there's any record of me saying this online, but at least in my personal life, I used to say that Dark Knight, everything wanted to be like the Dark Knight because it made a bunch of money, and whatever makes a bunch of money next, things will try to be like it, and that's exactly what happened. Everything wanted to be dark and gritty up through 2012, 2013, whenever the production had ceased. If they could fix it, cool. They couldn't, oh well. But once the Avengers came out and made more money than God, that's when you saw the craze of the shared universe and the comedy and this and that, and that's where we are right now. Everyone wants to be Marvel. So here that asks the question, was the Dark Knight emulated because it was stylistically and artistically a masterpiece, or because it made all this money and people wanted to cash in on that Dark Knight, dark and gritty dollar bill? I say both. The movie definitely holds up. It stands the test of time. Well, the 10 years it's been out, it definitely holds up. And I definitely think it's a fantastic movie. Is it my favorite Batman movie? No, third. But I still love the hell out of it. And I can't wait to watch it tonight for our live stream, which will be at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tonight. But I'm not going to all of a sudden say that it did all this great stuff and nothing suffered from it. Avengers course corrected. And what I mean by course corrected was things stayed true to their source material. There's a reason people read Spider-Man as opposed to Batman. Or there's reasons people read Superman as opposed to Batman, stuff like that. Different tone, different characters, different looks, different worlds in many ways. I know all the DC characters are interconnected in that universe, or the Marvel characters are, but I don't need a dose of Batman with my Spider-Man. I don't need a dose of Batman with my Superman. I need Superman to be Superman and Batman to be Batman. And it works for Batman. We haven't had a solo Batman flick that Christopher Nolan hasn't directed hit the big screens. We had Ben Affleck play Batman in 3 ensemble pieces, and he's probably done at this point. So that's for better or for worse. But now the Dark Knight's impact has been lessened, and I think that's a good thing because superheroes can maintain their own identity. If Ant-Man were to try to come out in that post-Dark Knight, everything's dark and gritty reboot world, wouldn't have happened. Wouldn't have happened. You wouldn't have had a success, and you wouldn't have had a fun film. The reason that Ant-Man stands out is because you had Paul Rudd, who's a very likable person, and a fun universe, and Michael Peña's jokes and all that stuff. You wouldn't have had that if the Dark Knight was still the influencing factor. So while I respect the film and I have great memories, and in the comments I want you guys to tell me about your first viewing of the Dark Knight. That's what we'll talk about first. That's what we're going to go into, because I'll tell that story in a moment after I read this super chat. Tell me about the first time you saw Dark Knight and how you remember the impact, because I have quite a few stories to say. So Chano Cyber9 Avila says the villain for the Black Widow movie should be Doctor Doom. Black Widow infiltrates Latveria with the help of Ant-Man or Doctor Strange or an X-Men. I'd watch that. That would be interesting, I guess. Not interesting, I guess, but that would be interesting to see the Fantastic Four's biggest villain introduced somewhere else. I guess it would do it could really help elevate a Black Widow solo flick. I think he'd piss off a lot of Fantastic Four fans, but I don't think there's as many Fantastic Four fans as we like to think. So let's see, looking at people. Iron Man started the comedy in 2008. I understand that Iron Man started the comedy in 2008, but Iron Man wasn't the hit that The Dark Knight was. Iron Man was first, but Batman was bigger. Much like Spider-Man was the superhero of superheroes from 2002 to 2008, Batman was the superhero of superheroes from 2008 to 2012. You had, in that time span, you had The Dark Knight and you had Dark Knight Rises. You had you had Arkham Asylum and Arkham City. Batman was the big thing. Iron Man was a big deal, but in no way did Iron Man have the appeal that Batman had in that time frame. So while I agree that Iron Man did what it did before that, the Avengers, when it made all that money and was the biggest cultural thing of that year, that's when people started to take notice and try to do the share universe thing more so than they tried the dark and gritty thing. So Mutale says, I saw The Dark Knight with my dad at 11, and the Joker scared me. I saw The Dark Knight opening day. So yeah, 10 years ago, I can remember where I was. Worked for 7-Up Pop Company. I was tired and kind of gross because of all the pop lifting I did. And it was a hot summer then. It's a hot summer now. But I went to I went to the big theater. D. Pensac knows, the Springdale, which was the nicest theater at the time. I went out there. I got my Nathan's hot dogs, those little corn dog things, and the biggest drink possible. And I had to sit in the very back row, but who cares? It was IMAX. And I sat next to an old couple and some guy. And we just sat down to watch The Dark Knight, and everyone was blown away. Now, I remember actually paying to see I Am Legend in IMAX just to see the Dark Knight prologue. Yeah, I bought into that back in 2007. I was home from college, I think on Christmas break, and I was so pumped for that. I actually tried to download the prologue on the internet, and I got rickrolled. It was a different time in 2008 or 2007, but they got me. But that first viewing was great, and then I got to college about a month and a half later, and people were still talking about it, and people were going on and dressing up as the Joker, and then I started to dislike the film a little bit, maybe because of those people. Dark Knight loses its steam towards the end. I agree. I think The Dark Knight has a lot of action issues. It has a lot to say. And 99% of the time, 95% of the time, it says it perfectly. There are a few moments where I'm like, the Lower Wacker Drive scene has some spatial issues that still throw me off. And somebody did a really great video essay on that. And even before I saw that, I thought the action scenes were a little lacking. I'm sad to hear that you saw the 2 Dark Knight movies with your uncle and he passed away before the 3rd one. That happened to Dan. Dan's grandma liked Batman, and they went and saw Begins and The Dark Knight, and she passed away right after The Dark Knight. I think that was one of the last movies they saw together. I'm trying to think of... What am I trying to think of with Batman? The impact... The one thing I did notice about The Dark Knight, it was the first superhero movie that I remember when the intellectual crowd stepped in to try to talk about its impact in cinema in that way. But like this article said, Batman Begins really laid the groundwork first. I don't think Batman Begins gets the praise and the credit it deserves. I think that movie's paced better. I like that it has a little bit of the verisimilitude that Donner put in Superman, but it was also grounded in reality. In Batman Begins, Batman inhabited Gotham City, but in The Dark Knight, Batman just lived in Chicago. And that helps the film, but I also think it hurts the film too, because it looks like at points just people are in costume in downtown Chicago. The High Recluser Grimaldus says, cheese don't go over. If you talk to her, you have to talk to her mom. Family Guy Star Wars is awesome. Morning, Jeff. Is that a reference to the Goonies? No, that's not a reference to the Goonies. I'm thinking of the part where Mouth is like, you got to make it with her and your mom's there too. But thank you, High Recluse Art Grimaldus, and good morning to you as well. Oh, I thought I was dusting off the cobwebs from last night's High Council. I guess not. The best part is I get to go right to work on the next video after this. I got to get that out. I'm 2 days behind now, and you guys are going to love it. The title card alone is going to get you guys rolling. So I'm excited to hear what your guys' thoughts are. Well, Family Guy Star Wars is fun. I got the trilogy right here on Blu-ray. Maybe we'll do a watch party if enough people show interest. So press F if you would watch a Family Guy Star Wars watch party here on YouTube. Reed Palancia says, I love the chat, but got to go. I will check the rest in about 10 hours. Well, Reed Palancia, thank you for all that you've done for the channel. And please do come back and let me know what you think. And if you're coming back in 10 hours, I hope you can get through this and then listen to the Dark Knight Live commentary tonight. It's going to be myself, our patron Michael, as well as the bullshitters. I don't think Dion can make it because he just moved. So he's in the middle of unpacking. But we're going to get into some deep Batman cuts tonight. I might even watch Batman Mask of the Phantasm in preparation and tell you guys on air why I like Mask of the Phantasm or the Dark Knight. High Recluser Grimaldi says, I meant Chewie. So we'll reread that one for you. It says, Chewie, don't go over. If you talk to her, you'll have to talk to her mom. Family Guy Star Wars is awesome. Morning, Jeff. There you go, High Recluser Grimaldus. You've been redeemed. The Pui. Morning, Jeff. Good morning to you, the Pui. Thanks for making it this morning. You know, Sentinel, you're right about how many scenes in the Dark Knight homage Batman 89. Did you watch that video? I just watched it this morning. Who put that out? It's on YouTube. If you guys remember who put it out, you can let me know in the chat. But I watched that this morning. There are a lot of similarities. I still love Batman 89 over Dark Knight, I guess for nostalgia reasons. But I think the operatic nature of it, the 3-act structure, which is more traditional, just works for me. And that ending, I prefer the ending to Batman 89 over the ending of the Dark Knight any day of the week. Art Vanderlei, do you prefer keep your mouth shut and clean the Batmobile, Alfred, or guilt-tripping father figure, Alfred? I prefer keep your mouth shut and clean the Batmobile, Alfred, over guilt-tripping father. I liked the way they operated in Batman Begins the best, but then Michael Caine just got too much screen time. Is it because Nolan's a super fan of his? Maybe. But I always joke about Michael Caine stopping in the middle of the movie and just having this long speech. I like when Alfred's in on it to help Batman and help him maintain. Like in Batman Begins, when he helps Bruce Wayne, he's like, you know, Batman can do this, but Bruce Wayne has to do that type of thing. And he talks about the party and all those things that he has to help him save face with. I like that Alfred. But Michael Goff Batman has his place too. They're different. I like them both. I prefer the animated series Batman, who is a blend of both. It's weird that that cartoon got all the characters right, both before and after. I just don't know why they can't do that again, or why they don't want to do that again. I think when you get all these people that come in these creative types are always trying to reinvent the wheel for themselves. I wish you just had a humble guy that respected Batman and was like, hey, I want to bring him back to this version that everybody seemed to love. And no, do it right. Love that Joker. What did I think of Rachel in the Dark Knight trilogy? I prefer the Katie Holmes version because I hate when they switch actors in the middle of a trilogy or, you know, in the sequel follow-up or something like that. But I don't think Maggie Gyllenhaal hurts the Dark Knight whatsoever. Maggie Gyllenhaal's fine. Say what you want to say about how she's crazy or whatever, but she does a fine job. But I think the movie would have been just a smidge better had it been Katie Holmes, because it almost makes Batman Begins seem like a separate film outside of that trilogy, because you instantly have a new Batman costume. You have a new Rachel Dawes. Just, I don't know, it makes us feel a little more separate from the proper trilogy structure. To me, that'd be like if Princess Leia was played by someone different in The Empire Strikes Back. I don't think it would work. I think that's the one thing the Star Wars trilogy had a benefit of, is all the principal actors were there the whole time. Best sequence of The Dark Knight. I like the part when the Joker infiltrates the Harvey Dent party at Bruce Wayne's apartment. And he says about, I like you, then you're going to love me, and throws her out the window. I like that scene quite a bit. I also like the part in the building at the end where he puts on the sonar goggles and looks up and fights all the guys. Like, I can hear the music in my head right now. I don't like Hans Zimmer that much, but I do like the Dark Knight score. I've listened to it probably 30 times. The best Batmobile, hands down, 89 Batman. I've come to accept and enjoy the Tumbler for what it is, but I would rather, if somebody said, Jeff, you can have one or the other, I'm picking the 89 Batmobile. It's slick, it has personality. It looks like a car Batman would drive. The Tumbler's fine, but in many ways, I feel like the Tumbler was made to be different for the sake of being different. And maybe Nolan really needed that for his trilogy to be a success. And that's why I don't hate the car, but that's why I own, right here in my office, I'm touching a Batmobile from 89, and I can see, honestly, about 7 or 8 more in this room alone. So that is my Batman car. But I do own Batman figures from the Dark Knight and stuff like that, so I don't dislike the design stuff from the Nolan trilogy. Just I don't do it as much as I enjoy the Keaton stuff. Was Jumanji a Disney film? No, but Jumanji was Sony. You think Batman Begins is a better movie? I do too, so much. I love Batman Begins. I remember going to Spain the summer of 2005, and before I came back, or when I was over there, they had Batman posters everywhere. And the first thing I did when I came back was go to see that movie with my mom, and we loved Batman Begins. Funny thing is, we loved Batman Begins so much, and then we went to see Superman Returns the following year, and we both hated it. I actually got into a little bit of an argument. She kept bitching about how much she hated the movie. I'm like, I don't like it either, Mom. Can we just stop complaining? And then she went on and on. I said, Mom, we're not going to see Casino Royale together. And we didn't. And then I bought it on DVD, and we watched it, and she complained about how it's not Pierce Brosnan. I'm seeing a lot of people tell me about their favorite Batman films, like Under the Red Hood from Raymond. In a minute, I'm going to ask you guys to all send in your favorite Batman flicks so we can talk about those, and we'll take a little poll. My favorite Batman the Animated Series episode is either If You're So Smart, Why Aren't You Rich? I like that one. I also like The Maze of the Minotaur. I guess I really like the Riddler episodes. Almost Got Him is a great episode. I like the one where Batman gets kidnapped by the fat guy, and he makes him work on a ranch, and then Alfred has to come save the day. Like, I like those episodes a lot. I got Batman in my basement. I know most people shit on that. That's the accepted thing to do, is shit on I've got Batman in my basement. But I like that one quite a bit. That was fun. That was like a dream as a kid. Oh, Batman's here, blah, blah, blah. So that'd been cool. See, I agree that Good Morning Pop Culture needs a logo. I'm actually, because it's a one-man operation to do this, then the videos, then the live streams at night, these weeks have gone by really, really, really fast. But one thing I do know how to do is design stuff, and I'm going to have a Good Morning Pop Culture logo soon, and that's going to be just the title card for each day. And then there's going to be a Good Morning Pop Culture mug, as well as a Good Morning Pop Culture shirt. So in the coming weeks, you guys will be able to get some Good Morning Pop Culture stuff. And I want you guys to tweet me that you're listening to the show with your mug, and you get a shout out on air. So don't worry, I'm going to do all that stuff. If you think we're doing great now, wait till I launch the site and take us to super legitimacy. Batman and Robin had the bat nipples. I think Batman 80 or Batman Forever's, did Sonar Suit Batman have nipples? I don't remember, but it was definitely Batman and Robin that had the nipples. I'm glad Billy D. Williams didn't play as Two-Face, because it just would have been weird. I don't like change for of these characters. I can't believe this. I'm glad Tommy Lee Jones did what he did. I don't know if Billy D. Williams could have pulled that off. If I left this stream, the show would be over, Tank. I don't think you want that. Do I like any of the Batwing designs? I love the Batwing from '89, and I'm fine with the Batwing from Batman Forever. And I like the one from the animated series. I like the Batwing. I think it's a cool thing. I like when Batman has his car, his motorcycle, his boat, and his plane. All those things are neat. And no, I have not seen Lego Batman movie. I haven't had a chance there. So now, folks, I want you guys to Tell me your favorite Batman movie in the chat. Tell me why. Give me, I like Mask of the Phantasm because this, and I like this because that. Just, something I can read on air. For me, I like Batman Begins the best because I like the hopeful ending. I like the tone of the movie much more. It's a little more fantastical, but it's also grounded in reality. I love the ending line. I know people say, this goes against what Batman says, but I love it when he says, I'm not going to kill you, but I don't have to save you. And he throws the bomb and then flies out backwards. I like that part. That part's so cool to me. I thought that was fun. I like the voice in that one. Like, can we all talk about how bad the Dark Knight's voice is? I mean, they really went overboard in the Dark Knight voice. That's the one negative that I think most people can agree on in that film is his voice is just dog shit. And then then 89 I like for the strong attachment I have to the film. The score is great. The ending's great. I love the structure of the movie. It really builds and swells much better than people remember. I think if people would stay off the internet and just watch the movie for themselves, they'd find that it's not as stupid as your woke critics like to say it is. And then I like Mask of the Phantasm and a couple other animated flicks. And then I guess I like Batman Forever. I don't like Batman Returns. I know that's going to hurt a lot of people in the chat right now, but Batman Returns is not a Batman movie I enjoy. It feels too set bound. Batman's not in it enough. I'm just not interested. So let's see. You like the Dark Knight because of the Joker. Batman Begins. Wow, a lot of Batman Begins already off the bat. Dark Knight Rises because of the great comeback of Dark Knight Returns. Dark Knight because of Heath Ledger. Where's the trigger? Let's see. Dark Knight Begins, Phantasm. Batman 89. Wow, okay, so it's looking like it's getting a pretty fair Batman Begins, Dark Knight, and Batman 89 love here. We're not getting a lot of crazy fringe ones. American Trent 007, thank you for your super chat. 89, The Dark Knight Begins, Forever, Dark Knight Returns, Batman Returns, Batman 66, Batman and Robin. That's a pretty good, pretty good subjective, but compared to where I put stuff, I think we agree pretty closely. The Batman 66 flick is hard for me to watch. For as much as I respect Adam West Batman and how you guys never hear me shit on it, I don't like that movie. I think the movie's dumb. Now, the show is its own beast, and I think it's fun, and it's in smaller bites, so it's easier to digest. But the Batman 66 film is tougher for me to sit through. I don't enjoy it that much, but I enjoy the show. I'm glad you love 89, though, Trent. I love that movie so much. Batman Black and White pulp serials. Those are fun. Those are on YouTube from the Warner Brothers archives. Trent, though, I'm personally happy to see you have Batman Returns so low on your list. I guess I'm not alone in that. I think a lot of people say, Dark, Gritty, and Tim Burton, but those three things don't mean a fun time for me or a good time for me. No se me aguite pariente. I hope I said that right. Here's some Dunkin' Donuts coffee money. Ooh, don't tempt me with Dunkin' Donuts, guys. I like the new coconut donut, and I may take your super chat money and go get one after the show. I can't. I need to get in shape for Horror Hound. But thank you, no se me aguita pariente. Timothy Riggs says, if going to rewatch 89 if going to rewatch 89 it is, Begins maybe second. They're both a fun way to spend an afternoon. Both Batman origin stories. That's the one thing I think Batman 89 did right back in 89. Well, one of the things it did right was not telling an origin from the beginning. Kind of jump right into the story. You see Batman in the first couple minutes, and then it rolls with the origin towards the end, and then they tie the Joker and him back together. I liked that. I couldn't imagine seeing that new in the theater back in the day and how that would have tied together. High Reclusiar Crumaldus says, I despise The Dark Knight Rises. Wanted to be a great movie, but was executed poorly. Off to work, Jeff. See you around. I hope you come back, High Reclusi Archimaldus. Hey, you always do. So thank you for your super chat, and I hope your day at work goes smoothly and fast. I don't know if Jesse Eisenberg would be a good Riddler. He's too young looking. I always like the Riddler. I don't like the. Maybe Jim Carrey wasn't the perfect Riddler, but you could find a better choice for that. I don't think Jesse Eisenberg's legitimately funny or wise. Like, he doesn't come off as wise enough to play the Riddler. He seems too smarmy, but he can't back it up. The Riddler is smarmy and cocky, but he can back it up. So I would want someone a little better. I don't know what the right word to say is. Is it me or that people are slow turning on the Dark Knight? That was Pete. Pete, that's a good point. I don't think people are necessarily turning on the Dark Knight, but like I said with James Bond and Batman, I think people are slowly forgiving the previous iterations, because when Dark Knight came out, if you could go back and look at the IMDb message boards, everyone was shitting on 89. Oh, it sucks, it sucks, it sucks, it sucks. The new one's better. That seems to be the mantra with film goers. The new's better. And Dustin used to say that stupid shit. That's not the case. Just because they remade it doesn't make it better. They remade A New Hope, and you had The Force Awakens, and that was shit. But now that Affleck's back, people seem to have forgiven, in quotation, like there's anything they needed to forgive. But people seem to come back around to Michael Keaton, especially with him being older and having a resurgence as an actor. And now Christian Bale's Batman seems to not be pushed aside, but people are talking about Keaton again in bigger numbers. So I don't know if people are necessarily turning on the film, but other things have taken their attention away from it. It was awesome. It was great. Much like Spider-Man 2 was the focal point of a lot of people's best this, best that. And then this movie comes out and kind of takes away its thunder. I think the Avengers and the MCU films that came after The Dark Knight have stolen some of its thunder away. And now you can have a serious film like Logan be Oscar Beatty type of movies without Batman. I think it's basically worn the effect off of The Dark Knight. Logan being what it is. Tom Hiddleston would be a good Riddler. There you go. If people can separate him from being Loki, I like a Tom Hiddleston type. He seems smarmy but smart yet tricky. My favorite Batman villain other than the Joker. I'm glad you said other than the Joker, because it would have been the Joker. He's the best superhero villain of all time. I like the Riddler. I'm thinking of the animated series. That's where I go to when you ask me about Batman. Riddler's great. I like Two-Face. I like Scarecrow. I really like Scarecrow in Batman Begins. I thought he was cool and interesting, and Cillian Murphy did a great job. You want my opinion, you need to lighten up, and then he lights him on fire and shit. I like that part. That's such a cool moment. Cesaria Japan says, minority pick, Batman Beyond, Return of the Joker. Excellent choice, though. Maybe even the minority, but an excellent choice. I own that on DVD as well as Blu-ray. No, I don't own that. It's an HD streaming on Amazon. I take that back. I misspoke. I love Batman Beyond, Return of the Joker. I remember renting that as a kid after the show had been canceled. And one, I was sad because the show was over, but two, that was crazy. It's weird that a futuristic version of Batman could be so good. Normally nowadays, when you get your hero-less version like your Gotham, which didn't have Batman in the beginning, or if you had a show about Spider-Man that didn't have Spider-Man in it, they suck. But the next evolution of Batman was able to be done so well because you have Kevin Conroy as old Bruce Wayne, and Terry McGinnis was there, and it was just an awesome show and an awesome movie. And I wish it had a better game and a better legacy, because Batman Beyond is almost, let's say the animated series is 100%, Batman Beyond is an 85. Yes, Soap, I love the Arkham games. Batman Forever and The Dark Knight have the same basic plot, just nobody notices. Now I want to go and do that and analyze it a little deeper, folks. I'm curious to see off the top of my head, the only movie that I think has a similarity to that is Spider-Man. Amazing Spider-Man 2 and Batman Forever have a very similar plot. I'll have to go back and look into that one, though. My thoughts on the Penguin. I like the Penguin in the animated show, but I hate the Danny DeVito Penguin. And I really like Danny DeVito as an actor. But man, I hate that. The gross one where he's got that bile that leaks out of his mouth and shit. I just didn't like that version. I like the smart, well-spoken, fairly dapper Penguin of the cartoon. And I like the Burgess Meredith one, too. Burgess Meredith is an all-time great actor. King Cutlet, thank you for your super chat. Would love to know who your favorite portrayal of each Batman character of all time is of all time. Favorite Alfred, Jim Gordon, etc. Voice acting included. All right. Well, thank you, King Cutlet. I believe this is your first super chat to the channel. So if you're a new subscriber, thank you very much. And if you're not and I misspoke, well, thank you again anyway. So my favorite Alfred, I'll give that one to Ephraim Zimbalist Jr. I like the voice. But I think all portrayals of Alfred have been pretty well done. Michael Caine, Michael Goff, the old guy, Alan Napier from Batman 66. I don't think there's been a bad Alfred yet, but I do prefer the animated one. Favorite Jim Gordon goes to Gary Oldman. Really got behind the character, but a close second will be Bryan Cranston from Batman Year One. Batman Year One is Jim Gordon's story, and I think getting Bryan Cranston to do the voice was just a really good get. Bryan Cranston's fantastic. Bryan Cranston should be in these movies as Lex Luthor, as somebody. What would be slick? What they did with Superman is they loaded it with actors that are like big gets. Gene Hackman and Marlon Brando were billed before Christopher Reeve, and they were big stars. Try that again. I think if you would have had Gary Oldman and Bryan Cranston and all these actors in a movie, like in the new DCEU, you could have elevated it, and people wouldn't have had to sit through Jared Leto Joker and all these other tonally inconsistent garbage characters. Let's see who else. Batman goes to Kevin Conroy in voice. In person, it's Keaton. Joker goes to Nicholson in person. In voice, it's Hamill. I like the animated series Riddler quite a bit. My favorite Two-Face goes to the animated series as well. My favorite Mr. Freeze, I will say animated series, but I have a weird pleasure in watching Arnold Schwarzenegger and his shitty bat puns. There's ice puns. I'm trying to think of other characters that have been in multiple different formats that I want to give a good answer to. My favorite Robin goes to the animated series, and then Joseph Gordon-Levitt, and then Chris O'Donnell. Because, yeah. I think Batman has had overall like the best actors play the roles, because you have multiple versions that people can jump back to. Like, there's really only one J. Jonah Jameson, and for many people, there's no debate about who the better one is. You know, the better Aunt May or this or that. So, those are my answers for you there, King Cutlet. Thank you very much. Who do I think could play a good Penguin? Who's little and round and smart? Oh, that's a tough one. I'll have to get back to you on that one. Telltale did the Penguin well. I actually have that game. I just don't have my PlayStation hooked up. I should finish it. Alfred or Q? I'm going to go with Q because I like James Bond more than I like Batman. Is there any villain Schwarzenegger could play, any hero or villain Schwarzenegger could play in the DCEU or MCU? I think Schwarzenegger's too old to be in any of those movies. If these movies were being made 25 years ago, of course Schwarzenegger would be something. But nowadays, Arnold Schwarzenegger is just, I hate to say it, he's like a grandpa's age. You know, he had the craziest, coolest life, but Schwarzenegger should just be a motivational speaker or stick to whatever he did in politics. I don't know his policies for California. If you're a native of California and you hated him, I apologize. And yes, Darth Thanos, this is live every morning. Good Morning Pop Culture is live here on the channel. So Tuesday through Friday, I'm here discussing stuff live. And if you guys have any specific questions or you want to alter the flow of the show, you know how to do that. So there you go, Darth Thanos. Peter Dinklage is the Penguin. There you go. I'll go for that one, and I'm not just saying it because you messaged me. I think about it. The more I think about it, Peter Dinklage has that level of, I won't say gravitas because that just seems like a overly used word. Peter Dinklage has the weight behind him to play the role properly. Put him in a fat suit or make him gain some weight, and you could have that. So I'm all about the Dink in a Batman flick. And then Chano Cyber 9 Avila sent in Peter Dinklage as the Penguin. And I agree. Thank you, Chano Cyber 9 Avila. Peter Dinklage could do double duty. He was in Infinity War. Infinity War, and then he'll be in Batman. That'd be sweet. That would be a benefit of having an unknown Batman if you can find the right guy to be Batman, no matter what his status is in Hollywood. And then you surround him with the proper cast. You will have a very exciting Batman flick for the first time in many years. Will people be genuinely excited about a solo Batman property? A lot of people hated The Dark Knight Rises. I didn't. I don't love it, but I don't really ever want to watch it. Does that make sense? Like, I like owning it, and I like having the figure based off of it, and I think about it fairly positively, but I don't go back to rewatch it. Like, I could watch Batman 89. I keep it on my phone first off, but I could watch Batman 89 every other week and enjoy it. And I could watch Dark Knight and Batman Begins quite often too, but something about Rises, man, I don't want to relive it. Captain Cold versus Mr. Freeze. Mr. Freeze. Andrew, it's okay that you're late to the party. You don't have to apologize. You missed us talking about Batman this morning. Today is the 10th anniversary of The Dark Knight. I did tell the story the first time I saw it in theaters, and I was blown away. It's funny, I've gone back and looked at some of my old stuff I posted online, and I found a review I wrote of Watchmen saying, if you loved The Dark Knight, you're going to love Watchmen. I'm thinking to myself, man, I was really into these movies back then. And while I'm not embarrassed of my opinions for back then, they definitely changed over time. It's interesting to hear what 19-year-old Jeff said about movies as opposed to 20-year-old Jeff, or 29-year-old Jeff, so... Life experience, man. You appreciate the past more. You embrace what works. You find what doesn't work. And I'm not even 30 yet. Do I like Pokemon? I did in 1999, but not anymore. I haven't purchased a Pokemon product in decades. 15 years, honest. Oh, God, more than that. I haven't bought anything from Pokemon since, like, the year 2000, so 18 years ago. Dennis Quaid is Gordon. That could work. Dennis Quaid's a very good actor. For some reason, anytime someone brings up Dennis Quaid, I have to think to myself, is he dead? Because it's Bill Paxton that died, and they're very similar to me in looks. Oh, Andrew Pitts, we're the same age then, my friend. What about Mel Gibson as the Joker? I don't know if Mel Gibson... I think he's too old. Too old for the training. I like Mel Gibson. I think he was great back in the day. I think he should stick to directing, though. Mel Gibson has a lot to say behind the camera, and people are receptive to it. Look at how, what is that, Hacksaw Ridge did. I haven't seen it, but it got that standing ovation at, was it the film festival? And he's pulling out stuff that people love. So I think Mel Gibson could, I think he should fix his public persona, and people should just look at his work more. You should also stop saying those terrible things about black people, but hey, whatever. What do I think of Gotham's Alfred, Sean Pertwee? Isn't he related to the guy that played Doctor Who? Isn't this his dad? I've never seen Gotham, so. The Pui, thank you for your super chat. Lego Batman is my all-time favorite. But Pui, I was going to go see Lego Batman in theaters, but I didn't. And now I just have kind of forgotten about it. But everyone says it gets Batman right. And I think Will Arnett's the voice, and I like Will Arnett. So I'll need to check it out. Maybe I'll get together with the other guys and we'll watch it as a group because the other guys haven't seen it either. Maybe we'll do... I feel like now would be a good time to do all the Batmans in a watch party. If you guys would want that, press F. Because I have most of them anyway, and we can just all sit down and do every Batman in order. Oh my God, you talk about an endurance stream. If one of our listeners stuck with us the entire time, I'd send them a free shirt or something. Alpha Terranima, thank you for your super chat. I can't watch Batman Returns without seeing the Penguin as Frank after watching It's Always Sunny. Oh my God, that's my favorite show. I couldn't imagine. Oh, I wish somebody would dub in the Frank dialogue over the Penguin. Something about she's a goddamn whore and all this stuff. So, like when he's standing up there and Batman hijacks the airwaves, talking about your mother's dead, she's deader than disco, and all this shit, and people were just like looking around, like, huh? And that's a great show. I wish more of our listeners liked It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Folks, if you have Hulu, it's on there, or at least it was on there. I strongly recommend you watch it after this. If you're on summer vacation from work or school, go watch It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Every episode. Jeff sent you. All right, lots of people are saying we should do that. I haven't seen Gotham or Apocalypto, so I can't chime in on those. ScarJo's Clayface. Oh, yeah. For some reason, I'm making a Patrick Bateman weird smile. Carol, Pepe Sylvia. Keaton, Pfeiffer, DeVito, and Walken are all good in Batman Returns. There's just something off about it to me. Yes. There's something about it off to me, too. I know this sounds dumb, but the film just looks so fake. It looks so small. I hate how it was all filmed on sound stages. Yeah, Batman 89 was as well, but they had the open air stuff from... They were outdoor for a lot of that stuff, too. It went to different locations. Everything in Batman Returns just felt like it was filmed and manufactured, and I don't like that look. I did say earlier in the stream that Batman Dark Knight looks like it's just in Chicago, but at least that brings it to the real world a little bit more. And I think Begins did that the best because we got to see Batman in other parts of the world. And actually, Dark Knight was cool because we got to see Batman proper go to China. That was neat because every other Batman flick, he seems to just stay in Gotham. And then in this one, he finally went as Batman to another part of the world. Are we going to get to the CW's lesbian Batwoman news? Well, Cesario Japan, thank you for super chat. As soon as I read this super chat from Rhino4563, I will pull up an article and we will discuss that. Rhino4563 says, Odair Fair from The Mummy would be a perfect Ra's al Ghul. I can totally hear him calling Batman detective. That's an excellent casting choice. And I think he's still of the right age. I thought that guy was kind of scary in Deuce Bigelow. I know that seems like a dumb thing to say, but I remember as a kid, he's like, don't do this, don't do that. I'm like, this guy's gonna kill Rob Schneider. Now as an adult, I'm okay with it. But back then, I was actually a little concerned for him. Let's see. Batwoman. CW. There you go. It's in Google. Oh, yay. Greg Berlanti. You're my hero. So let's get this on screen for you guys, and we will look at this together. And we had another super chat from the Grand Inquisitor. Thank you very much. You named your club Shady Nasties. That's your dynasty, asshole. I love It's Always Sunny, too. I like Frank's, that episode. Frank's brother. I know people shit on the Fat Max season and the one that came after it. I like those episodes. The only up until season 12 did I finally find an episode of It's Always Sunny I didn't like. That musical one about what are the rules. I fucking hated that episode. So let's start talking about this Batwoman TV series. This comes from Deadline Hollywood, so hey, that matters. Batwoman TV series in works at the CW with groundbreaking lesbian superhero lead from Caroline Dries and Greg Berlanti. The CW has put in development a Batwoman series for 2019 consideration. It hails from the former Vampire Diaries executive Caroline Dries and the architect at the CW Arrowverse, Greg Berlanti. Oh my god, look at these glasses right here. I'm going to pull an Ethan Van Sciver. That face is going to kill the CW Arrowverse. In Batwoman, written by Dries, based on the DC characters, armed with the passion for social justice and a flair for speaking her mind, Kate King soars into the streets of Gotham as Batwoman, an out lesbian, highly trained street fighter primed to snuff out the falling city's criminal resurgence. Oh God, don't call her a hero yet. In a city desperate for a savior, Kate must overcome her own demons before embracing the call to be Gotham's symbol of hope. So essentially, this is Kmart Jessica Jones, but with a lesbian twist. Batwoman already has been a trailblazer for LGBTQ plus representation in comics. After a long hiatus, she was reintroduced to the DC Comics in 2006. She was established as a Jewish lesbian, becoming the first ever lesbian superhero titled DC character. Now, Batwoman has become the first gay lead character, male or female, of live-action superhero series. DC Berlanti and Warner Brothers Animation previously collaborated on the first animated show with a gay lead, Freedom Fighters, The Ray. I don't even know what the fuck that is. Batwoman, damn gender, would join Arrowverse, which features a number of LGBT characters, including Arrow's Curtis Holt, The Flash's Captain Singh, Legends Sarah Lance, and Supergirl's Alex Danvers. What is it with the last name of Danvers? Never mind. Batwoman comes from Berlanti production and association with Warner Brothers Television, where the company recently extended its overall deal. Dries, who is a lesbian, surprise, executive produces alongside Berlanti. Blah, 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 who gives a shit? Casting is about to begin for an actress, likely lesbian, to play Batwoman in the DC crossover in December. So here we go, folks. This is the sign of the end. They have to be a lesbian to play a lesbian in a movie. I mean, Tom Hanks didn't actually have AIDS in Philadelphia, but didn't he win an Oscar? So I guess actors aren't allowed to act. It has to just be you're just yourself in a fucking costume. I'm not even mad about them casting a lesbian actress or all this stuff. This just article isn't about let's tell a great story. It's like, hey, here's the representation of the TV show. If Batwoman goes to pilot, the same actress will play the central character in it. Duh. Dries does not work on a CW DC series, but is expected to be involved in some consulting capacity for the character of Batwoman is crafted for the crossover, which spans Arrow, The Flash, Legends of Tomorrow, Supergirl. It's unclear whether which series would introduce her. Of course, this woman's going to be involved with the show. Never mind. It was Arrow star Stephen Amell among the CW president Mark Pelowitz who announced that the CW presentation in May that this year's crossover will feature Batwoman. This is the first time Batwoman will ever make a live-action appearance on any screen. Adding that, along with Batwoman, the city of Gotham will also be added to the ever-expanding Arrowverse. With Batwoman, the CW is following the strategy it used for The Flash, whose central character was introduced in a 2-episode arc on Arrow in December in 2013. While originally the network had planned for a 3rd Arrow episode later that season to serve as The Flash's backdoor pilot, it ultimately opted for a standalone Flash pilot, which launched the series the following fall. Dries has superhero credentials. She started her writing career at CW/Warner Brothers TV Smallville before a 7-season run on The Vampire Diaries, which she rose to executive producer and showrunner. Hated that fucking show. My old girlfriend used to watch that in college. The character Batwoman began in DC comic stories, beginning with DC Detective Comics 233 in 1956. But isn't that a different Batwoman? I guess it was Cassandra Cain, or she wasn't gay in the 50s, in which she was introduced as a love interest for Batman. On TV, Batwoman's first episode appeared in Batman the Brave and the Bold, so I guess it's not the first time she appeared on any screen. In film, Batwoman appeared with Mystery of Batwoman, voiced by Kira Sedgwick, a 2002 direct-to-video animated series. Based on the animated series, The New Batman Adventures, Batwoman also made a cameo in the direct-to-video superhero film Batman vs. Robin, which appeared in the 2016 Batman Bad Blood, voiced by Yvonne Strahovski. Well, this just seems dumb. And it ain't because of the lesbian angle or any of that shit. I don't mind. Everyone gets an equal voice in my eyes. I don't care. I just think that this press release isn't so much... the press release is just political posturing. That's all I see in this. Let me know if you guys think about that. Or what you guys think about that. To me, this is all just, hey guys. See, if I was writing this and I was trying to be honest, it would say Batwoman TV shows in the works at CW. That's it. Groundbreaking lesbian superhero lead means nothing to me. It means just tell a good story first. And I don't give a shit about Carolyn Dries or Greg Berlanti, but Greg Berlanti is involved with other stuff, so I would keep his name in there to instill excitement. But this show just seems dumb. I don't plan on watching it. To be fair, I don't watch the other CW shows. Those, sorry if I offend you, but those shows are just beneath me. I don't have the time to sit down and watch that stuff. I've tried. Arrow was okay. And Stephen Amell seems like a decent dude. And I tried to watch The Flash, but I hated it. Sorry if that bothers you, but I just don't like this shit. And then this show's trying to shield itself. I bet you that the Vampire... I've seen the Vampire Diaries. That show's fucking terrible. I bet you that if this show suffers from equally bad writing and storytelling, that it'll get shielded because of its progressive nature and it'll have its diversity points. I don't know if this article attacked white men, Chris Neville. I just think it was a stupid article about nothing. It even goes to say, oh, well, if the pilot's picked up, the same actress will play it. That normally happens, Deadline Hollywood. Who the fuck wrote this? Nellie Andreevas. Like, who are you, lady? Oh, well, good for her. Good for her. She got her thing. CW is basically like Twilight, the channel. Yeah, it is. I mean, I'm not even trying to tread lightly here. I just don't give a shit about this character. I never have given a shit about it. I like Batgirl, Barbara Gordon. I'm fine with her. I liked her when she got shot and was Oracle and all that stuff. Batwoman's never been a character that I've cared about, and I'm not going to watch the show. And shit like this will get points for TV because it's free and people can just watch it on their over-the-airwaves antenna. But this shit, I don't know if they're going to use it to testify, or not testify, that's dumb, to test out putting this in a movie down the road. The heavy hitters are the heavy hitters for a reason. Men and women like Batman and Superman and all the main characters. Just be glad, folks, that this isn't how DC is trying to lead the DCEU. If their other movies would have been a hit, you damn right this would have been a movie. But because they're in the hole, they can't risk something stupid like this. That's why they're going to people like Todd Phillips, Martin Scorsese, and Joaquin Phoenix for a Joker flick. Yet somehow we still get Jared Leto. It makes no sense to me. Arrowverse already has a good lesbian character. Her name is Sarah Lance. She's a leader of the Legends of Tomorrow. Yeah, they mentioned her in the article, Lime Green Hulk. I'm not well versed on the character to even give a shit. I don't know. This doesn't bother me like the way they do shit in Star Wars because it's so badly done in Star Wars and it hurts the other characters. The character has been gay in the comics for 12 years. Fine. But where's Renee Montoya? Why couldn't she be in a Batman movie too or something like that? Like that lady in The Dark Knight, the one that sold out, her mother was in the hospital. That should have been Renee Montoya. Leto is great as Joker. No. Don't be in a bad mood, Hammer of Crom. In 12 minutes, we're going to be to everyone's favorite segment of Good Morning Pop Culture, Ask Jeff Anything, where I'll answer any question. Weird, normal, movies, non-movies. Just ask me something to make me... You know what, folks? Press F if you want me to jump into that segment right now so we can forget about this. So far, the Arrowverse has been handling gay characters pretty well without pushing it too hard, but the Batwoman show looks like it's going to go full SJW. Probably, and they're going to praise this, and people are going to be all happy and fun on the internet, and I don't know how many people are going to watch it. All right, a lot of F's. So, folks, get your questions in for me. Make them good. It's the 10th anniversary of The Dark Knight. We owe it that much to have the best Ask Jeff Anything segment in the history of the show, all 4 weeks of it, or whatever we're at now. If I had to have a mental disorder, what would it be and why? If I had to have a mental disorder, I guess it'd be to be an SJW so I could enjoy all the garbage entertainment that gets pumped out. I love Hercules: The Legendary Journeys. That is one of my all-time favorite shows. Dion and I have bonded over many a beer for Hercules: Legendary Journeys. That's nostalgia playing hardcore. The new Titans show, I have seen nothing. You mean like Teen Titans Go, the cartoon? That show sucks. But if there's a live-action Titans show coming, I don't know anything about it. What's a great foot-in-your-mouth story one of you had while the other guys were drunk? Like, I regret saying something. I guess the time I blurted out banging Dion's sister, that was an interesting drunk story, which we still don't live down. Best thing to mix with coffee? Rum? No, Crown Royal. No. A donut. They're all equally bad for you. My embarrassing guilty pleasure movie or TV series? I'm not embarrassed to say that I love Detroit Rock City as well as Airheads, but I know they're not the best movies ever made. What's something that's bad that I like? Mortal Kombat? If people think Mortal Kombat's this terrible movie, I enjoy it. That's my guiltiest pleasure right there. Oh, the new Titan show up on the upcoming DC streaming service. I saw a picture of Robin. That looks like cosplay. I'll pass. My view on the Nolan versus Bane. He's good for a joke. He makes some good points socially, but the voice and the appearance throws it off to a point where I can't take it overly serious. So he's quotable and memorable for all the wrong reasons in my eyes. What do I think about Clerks 2? Love Clerks 2. I've watched it countless times. I have the special edition box set that came in the Moobies fast food box. So you get the Moobies hat and the Moobies cup and maybe the Moobies name tag. I don't remember what all came in it, but I have that. I really liked Clerks 2 a lot. Commander Cody, damn it. Thank you for your super chat. Idris Elba as the Dark in the Dark Knight. It doesn't get much darker than that. At least it's a classy Dark Knight. Why do you think people don't like Bale as Batman? Besides the voice? I don't know what problems they have with him. I think the way that his fight scenes are shot and some of the direction decisions made by Christopher Nolan could color their opinions of that. But I don't know if it's necessarily his acting. Oh yeah, Kahlua. That's the drink I was looking for. Kahlua and coffee, man. Who do you think is hotter in The Dark Knight? Anne Hathaway, Catwoman, or Talia al Ghul? I do like brunettes a lot. Just based on looks, I'll go Anne Hathaway. She seems very unlikable, much like a Natalie Portman. I don't think I'd get along with them. Even if I was polite, they'd have some kind of shit to say, and I don't put up with garbage for more than 10 seconds. So I don't think I'd like either of them in person, but I'm going to go with Anne Hathaway. But Talia al Ghul, what's her name? Marion Cotillard is a good-looking woman as well. But I'm going to go with Anne Hathaway. Two overrated directors, in my opinion. I want to say Stanley Kubrick to piss people off, but I haven't seen enough of his movies to honestly say he's overrated. I've only seen The Shining and what else did he make? Eyes Wide Shut and something else, and I liked those movies, so I can't say that. Overrated director. Tim Burton. I think Tim Burton's overrated. He's made two movies I genuinely like. Other than that, the rest have sucked. Sorry, guys. I think Steven Spielberg's pretty overrated too. There you go. I gave you some big heavy hitters. And the jail scene in Clerks 2 is fucking powerful. Cesario Japan, thank you for your super chat. 90s cartoon shout out, DC Comics or Marvel Comics? In terms of the cartoons, DC wins. I liked X-Men and Spider-Man back in the day, and they're still fun to watch. But Batman the Animated Series and Batman Beyond, as well as Superman the Animated Series, were head and shoulders above what Marvel was putting out. That was the MCU equivalent of animation back in the day. It came out, it was serious. The funny thing is, it was a kid's show, but it was more serious than the films that were targeted towards everybody, adults and kids. So they really kicked a lot of ass with those, excuse me, that was gross, with those DC cartoons. And by the way, I'm looking at a DC animated series Superman box set that I picked up a couple months ago, these action figures. The designs were great, the stories were great. Man, I wish they would have continued those longer. But I think Joe Rogan could be a Batman villain, and if so, who? Joe Rogan should be Egghead. Fox Drake 360 says, check out this Twitter exchange I had with The Expanse actress Dominique Tipper. Let's see. Better not be porn. If it is, you subverted my expectations. Oh, she's just posting political stuff. I don't know who this woman is. Actors in politics, that's fine. They can say what they have to say or want to say. I don't think, just because an actor has a big platform, do I think their politics matter to me or anyone else. You got to do what's best for you. Like, I don't sit and preach to you guys about politics and stuff like that. I don't think it's what you want or you need to hear. I just want to offer you guys entertainment for 2.5 hours every day. If you need somebody to beat your head over politics, just go out and look in the real world. It's a rough time right now. So thank you, Fox Strike 360. I appreciate your super chat. And you're entitled to feel the way you feel. But I think everyone should focus on their own stuff and how they can make their lives better, while at the same time not being a douche to the world. I don't hate Spielberg, but I don't like Jurassic Park. Schindler's List is fine. Saving Private Ryan, I've only seen part of, so I can't accurately judge it. I love the Indiana Jones movies, but I have no interest in seeing E.T. Jaws is a fine movie. 1942 is 41? The fucking movie with Belushi's terrible. Like, Steven Spielberg has made bad flicks. Color Purple with Oprah, I think we saw that in college and didn't like it. The Indiana Jones flicks are so good. But I just think Spielberg gets... I don't get a lot of the Spielberg love. Maybe I need to study him more. What about a Clerks 2 watch party? You damn right. We'll have a Clerks 1 and 2 watch party. They're both very short films. If there was a big enough audience, we'd do a whole Kevin Smith run. Kendo's a big Kevin Smith fan, so he's the perfect person to bring on that with me. I wish. I'll tell you this, guys. We have 66,300 and something subs. If everyone tweeted Kevin Smith an invite to a watch party, I think we could get Kevin Smith on the channel. I'd like to have that happen. Wouldn't kiss his ass because he showed up. I would just stick to those movies and ask him some questions and stuff, some hard-hitting questions, if you will. Kevin Smith would be a good get for world-class bullshitters, and I would ask him about, the shill video and stuff like that, too. Who knows? We're getting to a point where we can do that kind of stuff, so let's make it happen. J.J. Abrams at the top of my overrated list. Yeah, J.J. Abrams kind of sucks. I was just trying to pick directors that are generally considered to be great. Oh, man, that was a flood of questions. Let's keep these rolling, guys. Batman Beyond live action show with Michael Keaton as Batman and Willem Dafoe as the Joker. I think we should make that into a film. That'd be cool. But Terry McGinnis has to look like the Terry McGinnis. Don't use this as a platform for politics. Terry McGinnis is white. Just put him in there as a white guy. Have I seen the Spider-Man show that was on MTV in the early 2000s? I have seen that show many times over. I watched it when it debuted. And then I watched it on, was it on Crackle? I like that show. I wish it would get an HD re-release because I'd pay money for that. There was an action figure from that TV show that I missed out on, and I regret that. And I'm not picking that up. Now it's expensive as shit. I wonder if Logan Michael 69 has that one. Patreon Hangout Clerks Watch Party. Okay. Will be the proper way to message Kevin Smith. Just send him a tweet and say, you need to be on a world-class bullshitters. Well, I'll write the tweet. You guys retweet it to him. If there's 66,000 of them, he can't not see it. He's actually liked one of my tweets that I sent him on my personal Twitter account. So I have heard the conspiracy theory about Stanley Kubrick and the moon landing. That I like conspiracy theories for entertainment value's sake. Those are always a good, like, if I didn't have stuff to do, I wouldn't mind turning off the lights, laying back in bed, and watching conspiracy theory videos all day. But I don't have that luxury right now. But I do love conspiracy theory things. My favorite donut? Honey Cruller from Tim Hortons. Whoa, sandworms. You hate them? I hate them myself. I love that movie so much. Ancient Aliens Watch Party. Yeah, maybe we can get that guy that's on the show too with the fucked up hair, the, aliens. I just did that. I do all these motions and these gesticulations on this show that you guys can't see. That's the craziest part. Like, one of these days, I really just need to clean up this office or move. That'd be the best thing. If I can get out of this damn neighborhood, then I'll film it. I'll get a set. Like, doesn't Keemstar have a set? I'll get a light wall and all that cool shit. And I'll gesticulate in the mornings and you guys can watch me. A sausage party watch party. Sure. Dead ski. Do I really think the claims that they sunk Star Wars as real was on purpose? Or do I think the claims of them sinking Star Wars intentionally is real? I wouldn't put it past them, but at the same time, for the money's sake, why? Unless there's a nefarious plot that we're going to have revealed Watchmen style. I don't know, David. Does Jeff have Italian ancestry? No, Jeff has no Italian ancestry whatsoever. Not even close. Am I in Compton? I am not even in California. Alpha Terranima, thank you for the super chat. I love how JJ raised a stink about diversity in The Force Awakens only to shaft the minorities and produce all the all-white 10 Cloverfield Lane right after. I like 10 Cloverfield Lane. I love 10 Cloverfield Lane. I thought that was a really good movie. I liked the tension. I liked the small claustrophobic feel. That's one thing I'm a sucker for. Claustrophobic films or films that take place over short periods of time. I don't know why I enjoy those hallmarks of a movie, but there's just something I really enjoy. Like long, sprawling, grandiose epics don't really do it for me. Sometimes like Beverly Hills Cop takes place over a weekend per se. I mean, we can tell that the movie's only of the course of a few days, at most 3. Something I like about those things. Now, yes, J.J. Abrams in his posturing, his political posturing with the I see all these white people in the audience thing was just that, posturing. He wanted the brownie points. He wanted to keep people happy. Best case scenario with Kevin Feige is all this SJW crap that he goes on about is just to get those, it's a bait and switch to get the people that aren't going to pay to see the movies to come see the movie, and then you get to the movie and it's nothing what they thought, and they're just wowed by the spectacle and they don't care anymore. Best case scenario is that while Captain Marvel comes off as an unlikable douche, Iron Man just shuts her down with a really awesome fucking joke and then Iron Man doesn't die or is not emasculated. If Iron Man's emasculated in the movie, I could legitimately see myself walking out. He is the foundation that the MCU is built on, and if you destroy him or desecrate that for this chick or any character, nobody deserves to get the pot shots off at Iron Man and win. He's got to have that. So I'm thinking J.J. Abrams' whole point was just for brownie points. It was political posturing. The SJW shuffle, if you will. You dance for them, and they give you a pass on the internet. Somehow that's important. The Kinky Pinkies, thank you very much for your super chat. Thank you for last night as well. Saving Private Ryan led me to be a soldier. Well, thank you for your service, and I do want to watch it. We watched it in high school, part of it, the Normandy Beach part, but then we turned it off because it was high school and we had other stuff to do. But folks, if there are movies out there that have inspired you to do stuff, let me know down in the comments, because that kind of stuff interests me. Certain movies that I don't even think about can inspire people like the Kinky Pinkies. Like Spider-Man inspired me to get into comic book art hardcore and study the art form and want to do that with my life. So let me know what you guys have had, if any movies have been that powerful for you. I liked the ending to 10 Cloverfield Lane. I think that's what I really enjoyed about it. If you think that has nothing to do with Cloverfield, then what about the damn one in space, the Cloverfield Paradox? That movie fucking blew. I watched that right away on Netflix thinking, oh man, 10 Cloverfield Lane was incredible. This is going to be awesome. And it sucked. I hated that movie. You should check out The Divide, much better than 10 Cloverfield Lane. All right, I'll check it out. I'm always interested in watching stuff like that. See, claustrophobic the first half of The Descent. It's far scarier than the monsters in the back half. Isn't The Descent the one with the climbers and you think the girl gets away, but she was actually dead or something the whole time? I didn't like that movie. I saw Gladiator years ago on DVD. That was one of the... I've talked about in the past where we had that Blockbuster rental card, and Blockbuster gave you a free rental each week for a year. Gladiator is one of those movies I rented on DVD back in the day. Back when I was afraid that if I touched a DVD the wrong way, it would crack. Am I excited about the Unbreakable sequel, Glass? You damn right I am, Horror Master. I finally saw Split. I've owned it on Blu-ray for the better part of a year, and I watched it and I was impressed. And that ending, I won't even spoil it for you, but the part in the diner, holy shit, I got goosebumps. I was so pumped. I can't wait for the next one. Cesaria Japan, most prominent person to block world-class bullshitters on Twitter. Good question. I did see that Chuck Wendig blocked us, and we've never talked to Chuck Wendig, so we just got auto-blocked from Chuck Wendig, but that's okay. If you get blocked by Chuck Wendig on Twitter, it means you're doing the right thing, so I'm proud to be blocked by him. I keep checking to see if Ryan Johnson has blocked us, but then again, we don't really go out to antagonize the people on Twitter. If you notice, people can talk shit about us on Twitter, and I don't care. I really don't care. What's Twitter to me? I didn't get how to use it in my personal life. I don't let it affect the channel. The secret of our channel isn't even a secret. I tell you guys this all the time. I focus on interaction with you guys and producing content that you want to watch. I stay out of fan fights. I stay out of YouTube channel fights. I don't care. I let the work speak for me, not, 180 characters? That kind of shit doesn't matter to me. Twitter isn't real. I'm real to you guys. I'm an actual voice. I'm a person sitting behind a computer with a microphone in front of me. Twitter is just whatever. It's just a bunch of characters. So I'm not worried about that. But Chuck Wendig currently has blocked me. Now, I'll tell you, I'd be sad if we were blocked by someone I genuinely like that we've never spoken to that has the wrong idea. Like if The Rock blocked us on Twitter, I'd be pissed. Like, God damn it, The Rock blocked me. I've never, you guys know how I feel about The Rock. So that would hurt me on a personal level. But, fuck them. Do the Right Thing inspired me to care about the world. Isn't that Spike Lee, right? Is that the one with Danny Aiello? This is Spinal Tap. Made me want to play bass. Slap it a bass. Jeff, the Lego James Bond set was revealed. Want me to send a photo of it to the WCBS Twitter? I actually saw that this morning, Lime Green Hulk, but I'm glad. Shout out to you, Lime Green Hulk. When you see James Bond stuff or toy stuff you know I'd like, you always think of us, so thank you for that. But I was fortunate enough to check it out this morning, and I will be pre-ordering it when I get a chance, because you can slap 007 on something and I'll buy it. For example, I don't like those Loot Crate boxes, but I bought the James Bond one because it was James Bond. What is the worst movie you saw besides The Last Jedi? Honestly, it's Pat. I hate that movie with a passion. I really fucking hate Home Fries. I hated Child 47, Movie 43. Man, there are a lot of movies. I don't like Beverly Hills Cop 3. That bothers me on a lot of levels. And the reason I brought that up is because someone asked about my favorite director. Well, I'm going to give you a couple directors that I really like. I really love John Landis's early work, Richard Donner, some Kevin Smith. The stuff I've seen from Michael Mann has been excellent. Edgar Wright and Sam Raimi. Those are my favorites right there. Fucking love Sam Raimi. Sam Raimi, I don't know him personally, but I feel like I could have a really good conversation with Sam Raimi. Sam Raimi seems like a guy that has had big success, but is a normal, everyday person. Same with Bruce Campbell. I'm going to try to meet Bruce Campbell at Horror Hound. I'm really going to try to get some of these people to record bumpers for our channel. I hope it's not too expensive, but if I can make it possible. How cool would it be if in the middle of one of our world-class bullshitters, you see Bruce Campbell say, "You're watching world-class bullshitters," and he says something like, "Hail to the King," or some shit like that. That would be awesome. If I can make that happen, that'd be incredible. Let's see. Pulp Fiction taught me to say no to drugs. Yeah, I don't mess around with drugs. I don't sit and preach on the channel. I don't mess around with drugs. Like if I go to a party, I'll drink, fool around with women and do shit like that, but I do not do drugs. That is not for me. My thoughts on the Dream Team. I saw that movie in college. We had to watch it for a communications course or something. It was fine. I'd watch it again. Let's see. Lime Green Hulk says Ryan Johnson has blocked you. I got to see if Ryan Johnson's blocked us. Then I know we've truly made it. So I'm doing more Twitter this morning than I ever have during a show, just for you guys. Just for you. Just for you. If you know what YouTube channel I ripped that off from, I apologize. I don't even still watch that guy. So let's see. Does Ryan Johnson block us on Twitter? I need a new phone desperately. Okay, here he is. Ryan Johnson has not blocked me. No, we're not blocked by Ryan Johnson. Maybe he wants to know what we say. I have to believe that the shit we said on this channel has definitely reached them. I'm not saying they listen to world-class bullshitters and they're quaking in their boots. But with the amount of views we've gotten, I guarantee you someone at Lucasfilm is at least like, check out what these idiots on the internet say. Did I see the Spectacular Spider-Man? Not only have I seen it, I own it on Blu-ray. I've watched every episode multiple times. It's the best Spider-Man cartoon ever. Let's see, make sure I'm not missing any of the super chats here, because I missed one super chat one time, and it still haunts me. I'm just like, oh shit. So I got to make sure I don't. Maybe The Rock would find you intimidating. That's why he would block you. I don't know if The Rock would find me intimidating. I'm probably slightly taller than The Rock and broader. Not saying I'm more muscular than The Rock, not even close, but I'm definitely broader in the chest than The Rock. Hannibal made me want to be a chef. Can I come over for dinner? I don't want to be dinner. I just want to come over for dinner. You want Razor Fist to meet Doomcock on the High Council. I will try to make that happen. As you guys know, I'm cool with Razor Fist. We had a little bit of communication error for last night's show. But why don't I do this? If I can't get them both for the High Council due to timing issues, how about I try to get Razor Fist and Doomcock on here for a roundtable discussion on like a Saturday afternoon. That way we can get a lot of viewers. One thing you guys forget is I had Razor Fist and Mauler and Retro Blasting on one show, and we reached like 140 or 150,000 people. That is the most watched stream among anything from the High Council group. So if you guys want that to happen, let me know. I will talk to them. All you guys got to do is contact them and say, hey, I want you on World Class Bullshitters. And Doomcock will definitely show up. And Razorfist will too. I can consider them internet buddies. I like them, and I know them fairly well. Question on French horror. I've never seen much French horror. Isn't High Tension a French horror flick? That's about it that I've seen. Why did Beverly Hills Cop 4 never happen? I don't know. Well, maybe not a good enough script. There was supposed to be that TV show, but that never happened, thankfully. And Beverly Hills Cop 3 got very racist. It did? I think it got dumb. I don't know if I'd call it racist. John, let me know. Tag me in the post why you think it's racist. I'd like to respond to that one. That could be a lot of fun. Yes, Sam Raimi did the Evil Dead trilogy, and it was fantastic. The Sentinel, what are you saying? I'm a Midwesterner in response to. I am a Midwesterner, Ohio. Oh, in terms of Sam Raimi, that's why I must like him. I haven't seen Sam Raimi's Crime Wave. See, Brian De Palma is on off for me. I like Scarface, so Brian De Palma's cool in that respect for me. Mauler and Midnight's Edge. Ooh. I've seen the Jump Street films. I love 21 Jump Street. It's one of my favorite movies. I've seen Burn Notice with Bruce Campbell. I used to watch that show regularly. My favorite cocktail or drink. I like beer. I like a White Russian. I enjoy a mojito. Not ashamed to say that. Am I blocked by Will Wheaton? Let me look. It'd be funny if I was blocked by Will Wheaton. I don't like him at all. I think he's a whatever actor. No, we're not blocked by Will Wheaton. I don't like him at all. What's the best day to go to Kings Island? Local guide? Jesus. I don't go on a weekend, maybe a Tuesday or something. Now with the summer in full swing, it's always going to be busy. Yeah, I'm a large dude. So it's a bitch and a half to buy clothes and shoes. And the funny thing is I was this size as a kid. So that's why I was able to get into R-rated flicks and do all kinds of stuff like I could ride adult roller coasters at 5 years old. I'm not like Shaq tall, but you definitely notice me in a room. EVS missed 5 of your super chats, says Cesaria Japan. Well, I can't speak for EVS, but I'm pretty sure it wasn't intentional. But you guys know it may take me a little bit of time to get through them like last night, but I got through every single one. So thank you. That's all I can say is thank you guys. I appreciate it. You guys are really helping the channel grow. Because of you guys, I'm able to spend money to go to Horror Hound and expand the brand that way. And then we're able to go to Star Wars Celebration and we're able to do all kinds of stuff. I don't like to sit every morning and go, oh, thank God for you people and all this shit. But realistically, I do owe you guys a lot. And you stick with me every morning and you make it fun. I mean, the Ask Jeff Anything portion of the show is great because we go for so many topics. It adds a level of longevity to the show. Like we went an extra 30 or 40 minutes yesterday because I was having a great time. So, I appreciate all you guys do for me. The Lego Aston Martin has an ejector seat. Ejector seat? You're joking. Goldfinger joke aside, I'm buying it, Lime Green Hulk, in a heartbeat. A lot of yeses for Razor and Doomcock. Those guys are great. Get Geekdom 101. That's the Dragon Ball Z guy, right? Dishonored Wolf. Okay, you know what you guys should do? Either email me. Do you want a Mauler Razorfist Doomcock 3-way, or do you? That sounds awesome. I'm gonna do my best to get those guys. I'm gonna contact them right now. I'll get them here on the channel. Mauler is going to have to be on a weekend in the afternoon. Doomcock, if you give him plenty of time, we can make it happen. And Razor Fist is a big deal too, so I have to give him plenty of time. But I'll start working on that this afternoon. And you guys should just keep asking me until I can guarantee that I've sent out the message, because that show's going to be crazy. Like, seriously, we're gonna have 15,000 people watching it live. Holy shit, that's going to be awesome. And then I definitely want to have Doomcock one-on-one, because he would love to sit down with me. He's asked me, can I come on the channel just and talk to you alone? And I said, of course you can, man. You are welcome anytime. So yeah, Mauler, I'll have Mauler on it for sure. How many people will be on the live stream? I think I don't want to say I'm only going to have 4 people on, but I think 4 people is like the maximum in terms of everyone has a chance to speak and is engaged. If I could get Dishonored Wolf on, that'd be cool too. I've never spoken to him, but if you guys would like that, just let me know. Have I ever played Goodbye Horses for Dion on the show? Asked Dungeon. Oh, I've played Goodbye Horses for Dion in real life many, many, many times. I'll check my email in just a moment. I try not to do it on air, so it's not awkward silences. We're unblockable, says Von Doofus. Oh, man. Well, there's a lot of things that we're undeniable, that we have a reach and we have things to say that people care about, so. James Murphy says, get Jeremy John Stuckman in the Nostalgia Critic. That would get tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of views, and I'd probably miss the super chats. But my God, would that be crazy exposure for the channel. James Bond Radio and World Class Bullshit. I follow them on Facebook. I'd love to be on James Bond Radio or have them here. I think a lot of people, though, research us and get the wrong idea because they listen to the wrong people. But I think James Bond Radio isn't going to find a more dedicated 007 fan than I, or me, or however I'm supposed to say that properly. Fuck it, I want to be on their show. Ross Skywalker says, I thought you were big. You should be a wrestler. I played football in high school and hated it, and I thought, I'm just going to train to be a wrestler. Now, my dad was a fairly large guy, and he played football in college. But my mom's family is really tall, so I get it from both sides, and that's why I'm the way I am, and I'm very happy with that. But I'm glad I wasn't a wrestler or a football player, because I don't have bad knees or haven't had any kind of concussion issues or anything like that. I'm just slimming down, taking better care of myself, because big dudes don't live to be really old unless they take good care of themselves. And I've reached that point in my 20s. Like, I don't want to die young. I definitely want to keep this shit rolling. So I think you guys all want me to keep it rolling too. Have I approached Dash Star yet? No, I don't even remember anybody asking about Dash Star. But it's written down now next to Bill Burr Monday Morning Podcast. Collider Campia, the reunion on World Class Bullshitters. Like John Campia would ever come on this channel. Bullshit. He's welcome. I don't ever shut down the possibility for a good conversation or a good show. I think that's something the shill media likes to do. But it definitely ain't something I do. Everybody can come on this show and talk, even if they dislike me. Probably won't have our friend Mundane Matt, though, because nobody seems to like him. I'm just joking. Is Thanos the only villain who wins? Well, from a certain point of view, the Joker won. Who else? For every superhero movie, Baron Zemo won. Helmut Zemo, he won. He beat the Avengers. He tore them apart. Zemo won. Lego never jokes about their work, Jeff. Thank you. When is Celebration? Celebration is next April. I believe it's the 11th through the 15th or something in April 2019. I'll give you guys more information on that. I have my tickets purchased. And for Horror Hound, I have everything purchased. Hotel, tickets. I got to get more vendor badges, but that's about it. And that's going to be your world-class bullshitters only hang out. The High Council is going to be representing at Star Wars Celebration. We're going to be doing group stuff together. So that's going to be a lot of fun. But if World Class Bullshitters is your favorite segment of the High Council and you can make it to Horror Hound, we just want to hang out with you guys. And if you're old enough to drink, we'll have beers with you and we'll just talk for hours about entertainment. And we're going to film a lot and we're going to shoot some live streams. So if you guys want to see what we look like, we're going to be on live streaming in Indianapolis. Let's see. Geekdom 101 is really into WWE. Ooh. I'll have to check that out then. I don't know what the No Agenda Show podcast is. I'll have to check that out. Brian Lake, glad to have started this new Patreon live stream trend. Me too, Channel Dad. Me too. And I'm glad you're my best friend, and I love Lisa so much. Jeremy Jones, Red Letter Media, and Alex Becker. Oh my God, I wish they'd come on the show. I wish I could see. Now I have too much credibility at stake, but I could lie and be like, I got Red Letter Media, and then it would just be like Kendo doing a shitty voice. That'd piss so many people off. That wouldn't even be worth it. Guyman7 says, I have a hiatal hernia and back problems. Can't lift much heavy stuff. That sucks. I'm sorry that you had the injury. I'm fortunate that I can lift a lot of stuff, but my cousin has something like that too, and he's taller than I am, and he can't do too much physical stuff. And the Empire Strikes Back, the Empire won. Very true. Soviet Union Ball, I don't know how I found you. I was just watching an Arthur YTP and found you in the recommended videos. I'm glad we're recommended in YouTube poop videos. My favorite YouTube poop series is King of the Hill because I fucking love King of the Hill. I have not had a chance to try out KOTOR. Guys, I haven't touched a video game console in months, and I'm not exaggerating. We do the show, I work on the videos, gym, dinner, live streams at night, bed, back, same cycle. I haven't touched a game console at all whatsoever, and that's okay. Down the road, I will. I had a great listener yesterday send me links to all these audiobooks for Star Wars, so when I start doing some design work for the channel, website and all the t-shirts and stuff, I'm going to have some of that playing in the background, and I'll take notes so I can get you guys the EU thing. And a lot of people have reached out to be on the EU High Council, and I'm going to call it the Star Wars EU High Council, I guess, maybe. I don't know. No copyright infringement, intended. But we'll do something like that, and I'm getting a group of people together, and we're going to come and have maybe a series of live streams where we talk about the EU. We can become the forefront of the EU movement, and people can from all over can just want to chime in. That'll be a very open thing. That's not a patron hangout. That's not anything exclusive. If you have the knowledge on the EU, you can come on and talk about it. And if you have questions, the chat, and we'll answer those. Shao Kahn won in the Mortal Kombat series. I'd be prepared to give Johns a chance, but not Stuckman. I'd never have either of those guys on the show. Not even an anger thing. Megatron won in the comics. Sounds like I won the genetic lottery, bro. Not bad. I mean, I definitely need to tone up, slim down, and all that good shit. But other than that, I'm glad I am not a little dude. And I'm glad I'm not like Shaq size where I can't operate with normal size shit. And I do have the innate ability to drink down so much beer that it'll make your average person pass out. And I'm okay. Want a pizza roll? You damn right I want a pizza roll. What's good, Jeff? Can you pull the Den of Geek cover for Aquaman? It looks amazing. Like, let me Google it real quick. Okay. Yeah. Let me pull it up for you guys. We'll look at that while I answer questions. Here we are right here. I didn't realize Den of Geek was a book or a magazine. I want Aquaman to succeed. The more I look at this, I don't know if it will. This looks kind of shitty. I hate he's the guy playing next to Namor. It looks kind of weird. Anyway, I'll let you guys see it, and I'll stop talking about it, and you guys can let me know what you think. There's the Den of Geek cover. Aquaman, the King of Atlantis, gets his moment. Momoa looks cool. Amber Heard is always sexy. I like the color. I hope the movie actually looks like this, like a really cool watercolor painting come to life. We got Black Manta in the background. I don't know if I like Nicole Kidman. That's a personal bias I don't need to focus on right now. Who's saying about Doug Walker? I don't want to dredge up old internet drama and hatred, but my stance on him is I really liked some of the nostalgia critic stuff, but then once it got into like this person and that person, and you're this guy and this critic and that, and then it just got diluted and stupid, so I stopped watching it. Didn't the bad guy from Watchmen win? No. He ultimately will lose because of Rorschach's journal. Remember, Ozymandias got his wish for world peace, but Rorschach's is Ozymandias really the bad guy? That's why Watchmen's really interesting. But if you like it cut and dry, Ozymandias may not have won because Rorschach's journal is still out there. Lost Cause says, I found you guys when you chewed out Midnight's Edge in one of their weaker Last Jedi videos. Was it in the comments section when I said something? Because now I'm trying to get in now we're actually working together to come up with a video. I need to shoot. Let me write that down on my list of things to do today. Email Andre. Because I really respect the shit out of their early work. But when sports came out in 83, never mind. I really liked their stuff. When they were talking about Ghostbusters and the Sony email leak and all that stuff, I'm all for it. I said what I had to say on Star Wars, and I don't regret it. But now we're gonna come together here on the channel and have a video together. So I don't think there's any animosity, at least on not on my end. I have nothing, no anger towards those guys. It doesn't help on this platform to be angry all the time, unless you're Angry Pete or Furious Pete, the guy that eats all that shitty food. Somebody sent in a super chat. Didn't want to forget that. Alpha Terranima, thank you very much. Ted Danson is Becker on the show. Sure. If you guys can get me in contact with Ted Danson's agent, I would love to have Becker, a.k.a. Ted Danson, on the show. Darth Myrtle has all the pizza rolls. Do I consider myself a natural or had to struggle for the skills? What do you mean, Guyman7? What skills? Do you mean like stuff on the show or in life? Just shoot me a clarification. I'll gladly answer that for you, man. Let's see. Do I also hate Jason Friedberg and Aaron Setzer as much as I do? They're responsible for the worst parody movies ever, epic movie, disaster movie, etc. Hate on a personal level? No. Hate for their work? Fuck yeah. Those movies are shit. I hate all of those movies. You will never hear me say kind words about those unless those guys are involved with Not Another Teen Movie. I like Not Another Teen Movie, and I love the first Scary Movie. Everything else that's something like that, a movie, in quotation movie, fuck them all. But I genuinely love Scary Movie, and I really, really think Not Another Teen Movie has a lot to say, and it's quite funny. Plus, we get Chris Evans Captain America, so that's pretty awesome if you ask me. Even though he's not Captain America yet. Oh, we got a message from Kendo Slice. See, all the bullshitters are in constant contact with each other. 24/7, 365. And while that logs up, what's my most embarrassing guilty pleasure on my iPod/phone? I like this question. Now, some of these I do have on my phone as ringtone. So I have the Power Ranger theme on there because some days you just want to have the Morphin theme as your ringtone for a laugh. I'm not really too embarrassed. I mean, I'm not going to sit and play the Power Ranger theme or the Inspector Gadget theme on my phone for fun for other people. But if it comes on when I'm driving somewhere, that'll be, because I do keep a certain playlist in my car on when other people are in my car with me. I don't want them to hear that shit. So it's 10:03. I want to go an extra couple minutes. Press F if you guys want me to go longer and keep asking me questions because this is fun. One of the sharks in the Aquaman poster is literally a stock photo. I did not know that. You notice the Lime Green Hulk, I don't pay too much attention to sharks because I don't like to look at them. Just kidding. My name's not Dion. I'm not afraid of horses. Nostalgia Critic is so up his own ass. I'm surprised he's still making videos. I thought that hashtag kill the channel or whatever would have been the end of it. But good for him. He can come back from a controversy. I don't know enough about him to sit and say, oh, he's a good person or this and that and the other. There's a lot of shit that came out during the whole not awesome channel movement or whatever. I didn't really have a lot of time to follow it because if you guys noticed, during that era, we were getting like 20-something thousand subs a month and we were growing like crazy. So I've been busy on my own corner of the internet. Good luck, Ross Skywalker, and mowing your lawns if you're still here. Okay, people want me to go longer. I will go longer. Now, let's see. Logan Michael sent in a super chat. Thank you very much, Logan Michael. Worst Spider-Man costume. Amazing Spider-Man 1. I love the Raimi suit. I always hope they bring that back for video games and stuff. And the Amazing Spider-Man 2 costume was solid too. My least favorite is Amazing Spider-Man 1, followed by Spider-Man Homecoming, followed by Infinity War. I like the classic Spider-Man suit. It's just a cloth suit, but it makes sense in Infinity War, and it looked cool. I'll give it that. Skills is in athletics / martial arts, since if doing karate was easy for you, you actually had to work hard for it. Oh, okay, Guyman 7. Taekwondo wasn't too hard. I'm not a runner, so I'm not like that. But, you know, martial arts were easy. I was bigger than a lot of the kids, so like when I won those trophies and shit, to fight them wasn't very hard because I would, hit them and boom, over. I won with a roundhouse kick to the kid's head as a little kid, so, and I didn't do any damage to him, but that was fun. Larry Bundy Jr. won the channel Awesome Hunger Games. Larry Bundy Jr. watches a lot of the videos here. I should try to see if he's interested on coming on the show. I think he watches a lot of the toy videos. And Larry Bundy Jr. seems cool in my book, so maybe we can make that happen, guys. Best Batman costume for you, comic book or movie? Well, when it comes to the comic book, I don't necessarily list them as different costumes. It's just different artists. Like my favorite in the comic is either Jim Lee Batman or Neil Adams Batman. Overall appearance, I'll stick with Batman the Animated Series. I like gray and blue Batman the best. And then in the movie suits, it's the first Michael Keaton suit all day, every day. If I was in the proper shape now, I would cosplay the shit out of that suit. No, I wouldn't. It'd be hot and gross. I'll just own the Hot Toys doll and enjoy it that way. Oh, okay, Lost Cost 70. I chewed them out in the comments section. Man, I forgot about doing anything like that. You like pina coladas and getting caught in the rain? If you're not into health food, if you have half a brain. Cesaria Japan says, Power Ranger Time Force theme was the best PR theme. I don't know that one because I didn't watch Power Rangers. I watched Mighty Morphin religiously, and then I didn't watch Zeo or Turbo or In Space. But from the themes I remember, I like the original the best. And then the In Space theme's all right. And then that's all I know off the top of my head. I can't think of the other ones. Guyman 7. Right now, I have a crush on this girl who does cosplay and taekwondo, but I feel unworthy of her. Yes, I feel intimidated by her, but it's part of the charm. Go talk to her, man. Just go talk to her. Like in Wayne's World. Here's my life advice as by Wayne's World, or Way of Wayne's World. Like Cassandra says to Garth, just go talk to her. On the super happy ending, he says, I love you, dream woman. So just speak to people. The worst thing is you'll be in the same place you're in now, and that never is too bad. Have I seen Doc Vader on Facebook? I have not. I wouldn't date a girl that could beat me up either, because that'd be like saying I'm going to date a girl taller than me. That would be like WNBA style shit. Best Dragon Ball Z villain, Frieza is so cool. Yeah, I like Frieza too. I don't consider Vegeta a villain, but I do like Vegeta. Nostalgia critic Lindsay Ellis. On the nostalgia chick, I don't really know much about her. I've seen her on videos, obviously, and that stupid hot dog gif of her is pretty funny. But those just all the Channel Awesome people just didn't seem. They weren't my cup of tea. I stuck with Link Carr for a little too long, actually. You do not like Wayne's World. Oh, man. That hurts my feelings. Chad Vader, Day Shift Manager, Watch Party. I got to find those DVD. I have the DVD. I like that much that I bought it on DVD. We could do a Watch Party because that's all on YouTube. We should all get this show queued up and have some fun with that. A Wayne's World and Bill and Ted crossover. That would be incredible in like 1994, but I'd still watch it today. Talk Nerdy to Me. Wow, that's a slip up. Talk Nerdy to Me would be good guest on the channel. Let me look up Talk Nerdy to Me. I'm not aware of who they are. Add Beavis and Butthead in there. Yes, not liking Wayne's World is sacrilege. Do I know now of Rawrist on YouTube? I do not. Let's see. Talk Nerdy to Me. You just type in Talk N, that's who pops up right away. Oh, wait. Okay, I was looking at the song. Talk Nerdy to Me. Sure. You can have her on the channel. I'm open to anybody. If they want to come on to discuss stuff, we can make it happen. I don't really... the World Class Bullshitters channel is not an exclusive club. To be considered a bullshitter is a very high honor that only 6 people hold out of, 7 billion? But everyone's welcome to be a guest. Yes, we watched Cobra Kai on Patreon. We did a review of it. Cobra Kai was fantastic, and anyone who recommended it, I give you a personal thank you. That was so much fun and gave me faith for a continuation of old stories. That kind of shit makes me love entertainment. Tomorrow, World Class Bullshitters, Nancy Pelosi. Hey, if she'll come on the show, sure. I don't think she likes entertainment very much, but you guys can ask her absurd questions until she clicks off of this message. Johnny Lawrence was robbed. I like Night at the Roxbury quite a bit. I have it on DVD. Talladega Nights is not an SNL flick, but I like that movie as well. Freudian slip when you say one thing and you mean your mother. Only 2 of the 6 original Avengers will survive, and you're guessing Thor and Hulk. I'm saying Hulk for sure because Mark Ruffalo can be convinced. Just come over here and say these lines, and then we'll CGI in the rest. I'll be pissed if Iron Man and Captain America die. Net Cyber, taller girls aren't bad, but a girl taller than me would be 7 feet tall, roughly. That's... I don't know. Nancy Pelosi got 2nd place in the beauty contest. Everybody got 1st. Oh, I like shitty jokes. They make me laugh, as you can tell. Oh. Let's see. What else we got rolling? Ever see Kathleen Kennedy and Pelosi in the same place? No. Thankfully, I've never seen them in real life either. Have I ever seen The Shadow? Yes, I've seen The Shadow. 5 times over the last 24 years. So not often, but I've caught it on cable here and there. I think I rented it as a kid, and I really wanted the toys. I thought the toys were really cool back in the day, but I didn't have any. My mom would buy me every Power Ranger toy I possibly could want, but that was one thing about her. She knew what I liked, and she bought me everything from it. But if I liked something weird for 5 minutes, she could tell and was just like, no. But then she would replace it with more Power Ranger shit, so no complaints. Jeff, do you have a favorite movie poster? Yes, I do. I think it's the style. You know what? I'll just pull it up for you guys and show it to you. I think it's the Style C sheet of A New Hope. That is my favorite movie poster of all time. I'll show you guys my favorite movie posters. That'll be fun. That'll be a reason for you guys to stick around and watch a little longer, because everyone's going to know this image right away. I don't even have to pull up a super... I don't have to pull up a super high quality one. But here we go. This is roughly... This is just my favorite movie poster. Excuse the shitty quality. It's not painted or to scale. If you got that movie reference, you win the award for my favorite fan ever. There you go. That's my favorite movie poster right there. This Star Wars poster, the actual movie poster itself, adorns my wall. It used to be my lock screen on my phone. A close second is the Back to the Future poster, which is the wallpaper to my phone currently. It's been my wallpaper for like 3 or 4 years. Those are my two favorite posters. I like realism, and I like the dynamic feel. There are other artsier interpretations. Like, let me get artsy with you guys for just a quick moment to show you what else I'm into, because I'm a big fan of some classic James Bond posters, especially the work of Robert McGinnis. There's too many boobs to put on YouTube. Just Google Robert McGinnis James Bond, and you guys can see what else I'm into. American Trent 007, Bullshitter 6, standing by. Talk nerdy with me. Talk nerdy with me. Okay. Yeah, I found her. I'll ask her on. Remember, guys, you just say, you can ask them too, and when they contact me, we'll start the conversation. You guys have that power as well. If I were to talk to her, would you be a witness and someone to pull me off in case she tries to decapitate myself with a kick? I got your back, Diamond 7. Don't worry. Batman 89 poster is simple but does the trick. Yeah, I love the Batman 89 poster. That's top 10 for me. This, Back to the Future, some old James Bond ones, Batman 89, National Lampoon's Vacation, as well as European Vacation. I think they have amazing posters. The Indiana Jones trilogy has great posters. The Empire Strikes Back has a great poster. There's so many posters that are great out there. I like Batman Mask of the Phantasms poster quite a bit, too. That's really epic. I'm looking at the Blu-ray box art right now, and that's a poster as well. If Cap retires, who gets the job? Bucky? Cesare Japan says Super Sentai is better than Power Rangers. Japanese better than Americans. I'll put it like this. I've seen Jew Ranger and I've seen Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Jew Ranger is its own thing. Power Rangers is my thing. If I would have watched Jew Ranger as a child, I probably wouldn't have been into it. One thing about Power Rangers that trumps Jew Ranger is the music. You know, the Jew Ranger, the whole thing that they can keep singing and the weird horns and trumpets and stuff, that's cool. That's all them. But the guitars and the bass and the drum lines for Power Rangers really sold that show to an American audience. That's the same way Dragon Ball Z was here in America. The Dragon Ball Z music from the original show is much different than the Bruce Falconer music. And I think the visuals were amazing from those shows, but when you put it with the American rock score, you get something unique, and that's why it appeals to the American audiences. So any other version of Power Rangers, whatever they're called, we can go with the Japanese version, sure, but I'm going with American Mighty Morphin Power Rangers all day, every day. The worst movie poster I've ever seen? Win a Date with Tad Hamilton? No. There's ones where the heads are obviously photoshopped, and they're pretty dumb. I'm trying to think of some like more geek culture posters that suck ass. The BVS poster sucks. The poster for... I like the Phantom, but I don't think the poster is good because it says like Slam Evil on it or something. I don't like the poster for Rogue One. I like the movie enough, but I don't like the poster, and I don't like the Solo poster at all either. Goonies poster is one of my favorite. Which one? I'm into film. Is it the one where they're hanging off of the thing, or the one where they're down by the treasure on the ground? I like both. I like the Superman 78 poster as well. Drew Struzan, yeah, he's the best poster artist of all time. Bob Peak was a damn close one up there too, along with Robert McGinnis. The Last Jedi poster sucks. Everybody's faces are creepy. I don't think it's a great poster. It's better than the Force Awakens poster, but I still hate them both. The Suicide Squad poster sucks, yes. Von Doofus makes a good point. Themes and posters have mostly gone downhill. Yeah, theme songs and posters are now second nature, or not second nature, but they're not as important to these people that make the films. I'll give the Avengers this. At least they had a memorable theme. And the poster is iffy at best. I love those movies, but the posters are nothing special. The Infinity War one was cool, but the first Avengers posters, and Age of Ultron's posters, I didn't like the theme in the movie. Not the movie, the theme song, but I didn't like how they had them turn into the statues. I didn't enjoy that. I thought that was designed poorly, or at least not fully rendered. I don't know. That's just my opinion. Yeah, I love National Lampoon's Vacation posters. I even like the shitty one for Vegas Vacation where he's on the table. I guess you needed something to sell the movie. Heavy Metal has a pretty cool poster, too. Even though that movie is trash. Hammer of Crom, thanks for sticking around as long as you did. I will have a good day. We got about 10 minutes left in the show, guys. I'll go till 10:30 just because people are really sticking around. So ask me some crazier questions. Yeah, Craig, I agree with you. I am addicted to the hot drinks of this Keurig. Heavy Metal was the whip. Both movie posters for Heavy Metal, yeah, they're good. The Hildebrandt Brothers. I don't like the Hildebrandt Brothers Star Wars poster that much because the characters don't look like the actors. That's just me. That's my weird quirk. But I'm not embarrassed by it. The original Halloween poster is good. Scotty Bates. Jaws has to be up there for best poster. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Even though I don't like sharks, I like the poster. I don't even dislike the movie. I just don't like real sharks. Yeah, the Jaws poster's up there is a great one. Close Encounters has a pretty cool poster, too. E.T.'s dumb. Deep dish or thin crust, asks American Trent. I like Chicago-style deep dish. I like stuffed crust from Pizza Hut. I like thin crust from other pizza places. It all depends on the pizza. You love me some damn... I love pizza. I want some now, but I don't want to eat it now. Don't let your wife abuse you over a super chat. It's okay. We're all friends here. Jaws is overrated, but you still like it, says Lime Green Hulk. I said I was in Spain for a time. Do I speak any other languages other than English? I mean, I took 2 years of high school Spanish and then 4 years of German, 2 in high school, 2 in college. I do want to warm up and refresh myself in German. Like Channel Dad Brian Lape will say stuff to me in German, and I pick it up, but it takes me a minute to remember what it is. Like, I know most of the German dialogue in Die Hard. I understand what they're saying. So that's cool. But I'm not fluent in any other language. And I was only in Spain for 9 or 10 days in 2005, but long enough to go watch Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. I feel like thin crust is a waste of money. They definitely get you on that one. So did Disney buy Marvel Comics from IDW? Is that why they're outsourcing back to them? No. IDW was always separate from Marvel. They just had the license to print those big coffee table books and stuff like that. I don't know why they're outsourcing those Spider-Man stories. Kind of an odd choice. And I'm not going to wait and see because I'm not going to read those damn books at all. If I'm ever in Coney Island, Nathan's and pizza are a must. We have Nathan's hot dog places down here, but if I go to Coney Island, I guess I'll get a real Nathan's hot dog. I've never been to Coney Island. I've been to New York a couple of times, but never to the Big CI. Lego Batman movie poster was pretty good. It was. I've seen that. I actually have a Lego Batman figure on my shelf. I'm cool with Lego Batman. I just haven't seen the movie. Is Marvel really a write-off for Disney? Probably. Probably. Outsource Star Wars to people who know what they're doing. Yeah, I agree with that one 100%. The Danny Elfman theme was briefly heard in Justice League. Yeah, that got me excited. And then when I heard the Christopher Reeve Superman from John Williams, that got me pumped too. Alfred Hitchcock movie posters were great. Is Vertigo the one with the circles? Like the... Yeah, that one's cool. The Psycho poster's pretty... I love Alfred Hitchcock. He's one of my favorite directors. When people bring up Stanley Kubrick as the greatest director of all time, I usually throw out Alfred Hitchcock. That's my pick for the greatest. Jiggity woohoo. Yes, jiggity woohoo to you too, Rugis. Thank you for bringing back an old joke. I've been listening to some of the older episodes. I'm trying to get the old... I'm going to get the old guys from the show on for a recording session, and we're going to record a world-class bullshitters memory moment thingy-mabob. I don't know what we're going to call it. But around episode 50, I'm going to put out a looking back at world-class bullshitters type of thing. And we'll see where it goes. I'm not going to give them a live mic, but we'll see how it goes for sure. I'll even have channel dad Brian Lave. If anyone's been on more than one episode of World Class Bullshitters, they will be invited back. Dustin, yeah, Dustin too. See you, Lost Cause. I'll see you next time, my friend. Episode 83 was Kendo's best. Have I ever seen Wild Things? Yes. Is that the Denise Richards makeout scene? Was that Nev Campbell? Pete, those are all great movies. And I'll probably run into the Warriors. I better run into the Warriors. Ajax stole my wallet. Yeah, the Big Lebowski poster really does tie the room together. What do I think about the You Are His Niece from The Force Awakens? I try not to think about The Force Awakens, to be quite honest with you guys. If it turns out that Rey is Luke Skywalker's niece, I will give a shit. It's too late. You don't put these revelations in the movie after that character dies, and then they come back as a ghost and all that other crap. They think they have the ability to do all this stupid shit in Star Wars, but the fan base isn't as forgiving as they want them to be in terms of, we're going to ruin everything you hold near and dear to your heart, and then we're going to piss on it, and you're just going to like it. No. Fans say fuck that. Governor Tarkin, only you could be so bold. Thank you for your super chat. Do you believe the rumor that Disney won't do black and white couples in their movies? Very much. That could very well be the case. Even my favorite movie, Beverly Hills Cop, which, yeah, it's 34 years old, but they wouldn't let Axel and Jenny be more than friends because of the black-white relationship thing. So it's weird how certain racial dynamics are applauded and praised in film, but other ones are kind of swept aside because they don't like to promote those or show those on film. I don't know if Disney has a mandate, or maybe people just don't want to. Or maybe they see black and white couples as not progressive anymore, and it's just kind of like, basic, everybody has seen it type of thing, and they don't win any more progression points for showing that in film. So, I don't know. Maybe, I don't know if they have a mandate, but I wouldn't be surprised if it just wasn't, like I said, progressive of it enough. That's what they're trying to go for. It's who can posture the hardest for whatever cause, and the black and white couple's just, it's okay. Every people accept it. It's not even like a big deal. Like Dion and Hillary, my parents, stuff like that. No one cares. It's just, they're just two people, which is how you should see it. Star-Lord and Gamora. I don't really consider Star-Lord and Gamora a black and white couple because Gamora is Zoe Saldana, who is black, but Gamora's green. So I go by whatever skin color or whatever makeup they're wearing. Like the gold people in Guardians of the Galaxy 2. They're not white people, they're gold people. Yes, and your heart is what matters the most, John. You're 100% right. Episode 9 will shock us. Yeah. Shock us with how stupid they can fucking be. So, folks, oh, wait. American Trent. Thunderball is my favorite Connery Bond movie so far. Dialogue could be hard to understand, however. Well, American Trent, Thunderball has my favorite Bond girls, Domino and Fiona Volpe. That's all I can say is. So, folks, it's 10:30 Eastern Standard Time, which means I got to get to working on the next video and then maybe take a nap, then maybe definitely get to the gym. So I got to put this baby to bed. Or not even to bed. Just I got to end this stream because I'm going to be back in a few short hours with you guys to watch The Dark Knight. Now, how this will work tonight before everyone clicks off is I will post it here where we're going live, and then at 9 o'clock, we'll go live. We'll talk for a couple minutes to wait for people to cycle in, to filter in, and then we'll start the movie. And Logan Michael 69. There you are. Thanks for the stream. Have a good one. Logan Michael, you have a better one. Solitaire is the best Bond girl. She's great. Jane Seymour. I have her autograph. She signed it to Jeffrey. Love Jane Seymour. And I do love Jane Seymour. So there we are. Don't leave us, Jeff. I'm always with you, Darth Myrtle, in spirit or on social media. All you got to do is shoot me a message and I'll try to get back to you guys as soon as possible. But I definitely know you want this next video. Put it like this. The title card alone is going to make you laugh so hard. It's why we get, the views and stuff we get, because I focus on all the aspects of all the content. So be prepared for the next one. It's fun. I'm very happy. I'm very proud of it. And I'm hoping you guys enjoy it and consume it the way the Kathleen Kennedy million viewed video gets. That's my next goal for the channel. Million viewed videos once a month. Be a nice surprise and a nice way to really stick it to Lucasfilm. Grant Smith Base. It is the first way you spelled it. It is with a J. Let's see. Adios, senor. Adios to you too, Raul Valdez. I'm glad you guys spell my name better than you spell Dion's. Dion, I don't think I ever see Dion's name spelled properly. Just for the record, it's D-I-O-N. Dion. Yeah, but thank you to everyone who stuck around, and I'll be back. God, what is it? 10 hours from now? So, have fun, folks. Get to work, do what you got to do, think about us, and know that tonight we're going to be talking about The Dark Knight with our patron and friend, Michael. And may the Schwartz be with you. Oh, what a world, what a world.